Good evening. Welcome to another Random Live. Me and Brian giving you daily doses of fear-mongering. We're here to tell you you're all doomed.
Doomed, I say.
Doomed. So use all our shopping links and send lots of donations. No, I'm joking. Dios did send 2 super stickers before we even started, which is awesome. 149 and 149. There we go. Thank you very much. Appreciate the donations there, Dios. Lots of people in there. Good to see so many green names and blue names and stuff like that. Loads of members. Love it. We'll get to your questions and stuff anytime during this. It's open for your questions the whole time. We're generally having a chat about things falling apart and if, when, why, how, and stuff like that. So, first off, how's your day been, Brian?
It's been all right. I look like I fell asleep on the couch with one of the dogs, and because they're blowing their coats, it looks like I've murdered a seagull. I put it in a blender and then took the lid off at high speed. So,
nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't show up on camera. You're all right. It used to be the same. Go around my mum's house and anything black, you're just covered in cat hair. Nightmare. Thank you, Lorraine Sanders, for the £2 super sticker. Really appreciate it. We've not monetized Brian. You'll be pleased to know. So don't worry. There's no swear box present, and we can talk about what we want to a degree. Hopefully not getting banned. But if we do disappear on one channel, go and find the other channel. So make sure before you do anything else, if you're on my channel, you make sure you subscribe to Brian's and vice versa. And I'm going to try and find the disclaimer right now for the bottom because
we may need it.
We may need it. I've got so much crap on here now.
It's probably worth mentioning, folks, that your comments could be judged at a later date by other people who are not of the same mindset as you, me, and anybody else who is of a similar inclination.
Yeah.
Be careful.
So don't say you're going to spray heat spray in somebody's face next week, because if it happens, then it'll be intent. All right.
I feel I shouldn't have to say this, but you know.
Yeah. but here we are.
Just throwing it out there. Don't be silly.
Yes, here we are. So we're talking about the UK collapse, as it were, which is interesting because it's dubbed. We're not collapsing, if you're part of the Labour majority. Everything's fine and wonderful, and they're just fixing the errors from the last government, and that's all. Everything's fine. But if you look anywhere else, we're in what's known as a polite collapse. Have you heard this term?
That's a new one on me.
It's a polite collapse. So it's the primary theoretical concern is not sudden collapse, but polite collapse or gradual decline, causing chronic unresolved structural issues. Timeline for this is often cited beginning within the next 10 to 20 years. That's what it's often cited.
We're fucked in a posh voice. Oh no, one is fucked.
No, it's more like, do you remember startprepping.co.uk, Dan, who used to join us a few times?
Yes.
He mentioned the crumblies. So it's little things that's just going wrong, and the cost of living going up, and the NHS strains, and the doctors' strikes, and it's all these little things.
Accumulation.
Yeah, it's not like a black swan collapses tomorrow and it all happens. It's just a slow degrade. And apparently that's what we're in right now. Enter the faceless man.
Dun, dun, dun.
You have me panicked then that I'd left my camera on for some reason because I saw the light lighting up on the laptop and I was
oof. You don't want to scare the audience off.
The CSA would be on it like a snake.
Thank you, Random Online Gamer, for becoming a member. And thank you, Dave, for the £5 super chat. That's awesome. Hawkins, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, tired, but I'm off tomorrow, so it's Friday night for me. So I'm just cracking kind of Stella open. And
do you know what's really sad, Brian? I can hear the disappointment in his voice that there wasn't a follow-up X-Class Flare after the 5.
I was devastated.
I put a little video on the Discord about that. The guy was crying on. Did you see it? The guy was crying on the table like this, and his wife comes in and, what's wrong? The power's still on.
I'll have a little search. So I've not had a chance to keep up with it properly, but I did listen to the stream the other night that you did. I actually went to sleep listening to your dulcet tones through my headphones. So
nice, wet dreams all night then, yeah.
Something like that. Nightmares.
Just whipping up a batch listening to you, Mike.
Yeah. Well, CMEs and solar flares and catastrophic events aside, we're talking about the slow degrade, as it were, in society, in our power grid, in infrastructure, in everything. Everything they touch turns to shite. Just is probably the best. If they nationalise the rail, it'd be like me touching anything. It'd just set on fire. It's just...
Let's leave the railway alone, eh? Income.
If Labour went into the Sahara Desert in 5 years' time, you'd have a warning saying we've run out of fucking sand.
Well, they have knackered the railway.
They've all drowned.
They've stopped all the upgrades for the railway. They've pulled the plug in it all. So there's thousands and thousands and thousands of railway lads out of work at the moment.
Yeah. Is the HS2 being scrapped then?
I don't know if it's been scrapped. It's sorry, it's certainly delayed. But they've pulled the plug on so many other infrastructure projects that were in the pipeline. I mean, I work on the railway, and the project I was on shut down. They literally just pulled the plug on it, and it cost them millions to can it in the position that it was in at the time.
That's it. When something like that gets axed, it's not like, oh, we're saving money. It's like, no, you've wasted all of this money on half a project.
Without getting into details, they stopped it at the exact wrong time, and if they just let it progress for another 3 months, if they let it progress for another 3 months, they would have achieved something with the money that they spent. But the Labour government just said, no, that's it, we're stopping it, and they just wasted millions that already spent. So
how recent is this?
Money.
Exactly, it's your money, Brian.
How recent was this?
This was 12 months ago.
When they scrapped it.
Yeah.
Right. So when this first came in, So that's all the £20 billion black hole. Then Hawkins, it's everyone else's fault.
And then now they've really reluctant to start new projects that have been in the pipeline for a long time. And as I said, there's lots of skilled lads who are all licensed up with the licenses that you need for the railway for doing our job, and they're out of work, and you've got to stay in work to keep your evidence up, to keep your licenses in date. So everybody's leaving the railway signalling side of it, moving to other industries, and if it does ramp up again, you're not going to get the staff back. So
Kane's got a good analogy. I think the UK has already collapsed. It's just being held together with Rizla papers.
Could be.
Sounds about right for the area I live in.
Where's my radios?
Where's your what?
Where's my radios, Kane?
What radios?
Didn't he buy you radios the other night?
Oh yeah, he did. I actually.
Oh, he did he? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's a set of 4 of these with the earpiece and stuff like that. I've just tested the range on them tonight, actually.
Mine's must have got lost in the fucking post.
Same.
I'm not saying this favoritism.
Hawkins, you have no presence on the internet apart from, over our shoulder like a creepy gremlin. And Brian, you don't have a wish list. Publish a wish list, Brian. It's a good way to get stuff for people. If people want you to review it, put stuff on your wish list and they might buy it for you to review it. Then you could give it away afterwards if you don't want the actual thing,
How am I going to justify an inflatable doll?
You can't. Just don't do it. I had Lego on my wish list for a while, though. So
Well, you could say that an inflatable doll, if you filled it with helium and put a string on it, is a kite, a balloon. Therefore, tie a mesh-tastic node to it, or a mesh collar.
I like your thinking. Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
That's Radio Dolly.
Important safety note: make sure it's empty before it takes flight.
It's raining. Don't catch the snowflakes on your tongues, kids.
And that's when the stream went bad.
Didn't take long. I was just looking at my wish list there. I've took all the ridiculous stuff off it. Oh no, there's a set of edible insects. Right, there is something on my wish list that I've been got, and I still don't know when to take the plunge. Somebody got this off my wish list, which is
What
a
is it?
9 million Scoville heat lollipop.
Eat it now.
It's called the Toe of Satan. The challenge is to
Mate,
put
get
it
it
in your
home.
mouth for 5 minutes.
Go for
No,
it.
no, not now. Do it as a video, because the video will go viral as everybody watches you cry on camera.
You think that, but the waxing, it was the probably the worst numbers I've ever had.
Yeah, but we didn't see enough pain. We didn't see enough pain. If you cry, I want to see blood pouring through your eyeballs, and then
Right,
it'll
I
go
don't
viral.
think they'd sell it on Amazon if it quite did that, but yeah. Anyway, that's enough about our wish list antics. The fact there's a set of handcuffs on my wish list, if you do have a look at it, don't judge me. It's for testing purposes.
Fairy ones.
No, there's I've got a set of the cable tie ones, and I've got a set of the actual police grade pro cuffs.
Cable tie ones on Amazon work quite well, actually.
Yeah. Do they? she's
What a couple
she's
of
never
perverts.
escaped, has she not, Hawkins?
She's still upstairs now.
Upstairs. Oh, luxury. Mine's in the basement.
She puts the lotion on, or she gets the hose again.
We don't do any of this. This is
Well,
a
I don't, but
joke.
apparently those two do.
Yeah, this is a joke. Anyway, right. We digress massively. It's all
Yeah.
Hawkins' fault. It went downhill when you entered.
Sorry, I've not seen you for weeks.
Giggity.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's threat analysis it, basically, where we're at the moment, stuff like this. I mean, my biggest concern right now is this next budget coming out, because I probably suffer from the cost of living more than some people based on my circumstance. That's not a woe is me case. It's just a fact of life. And lots of people will be in that same boat where they have a single income and stuff like that. So that's my biggest threat at the moment. But I believe, do you think, how bad could it be after the budget, Brian? What do you think? Do you think they're going to, it sounds like they're going to raise taxes on every working man.
They're taxing and changing everything, though.
Mm.
So they tell you to get EV cars. You get EV cars, and then they start charging you per mile, right?
Yeah.
Which we kind of knew was coming. They say buy your house, and then they put up stamp duty. They say, but be an investor, buy property. People that are buying second properties to rent out are getting screwed into the ground. If you actually work, then we're going to tax you even more. So up here, we're at 42% tax if you earn over a certain amount. So you're going to get taxed even more. Then they were talking today about they're going to allow the councils to raise certain taxes by area. Right?
Wasn't the talk of the council tax being scrapped by band and an extra tax put on your house value?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they were talking about that as well. And pensions, they've been... Every time they accidentally say something to the press, you can bet your bottom dollar that at some point it's coming down the lines. So if you've invested for your future, if you work, then you're being screwed. There's no incentive to better yourself. There's no incentive to go out and do a shift. That's my problem.
My problem is, I mean, you know my circumstances, Brian. With medical aspects and kids, I could probably earn more doing that, being that scrounger that on the state. I'd probably have more money in my pocket at the end of the day. That's the irony about. I won't do it. I'll clean toilets if I have to. I'll always work, but it's encouraging it. It's massively encouraging it. Do you think they'll have a benefit cut at all, Hawkins?
No. I just
No.
Going back to what you just said there, I was walking out on site today with some of the lads, and we were discussing the upcoming budget and whatnot. And the guy I was with mainly was talking like you were there, saying, you know, how far can they push us? How far can they push the working man? You know, it's just going to be a point where everyone's just going to say, "Fuck it, I've had enough. I'm going to get a council house and just take benefits." But I said to him, "But you won't, though, will you? Because I won't. Because you can still get a bit more by working, and they know that we don't want to sacrifice our houses that we've got and our lifestyles that we've got. So they're just going to keep squeezing us until there's nothing left to give. And although things are hard, there's still something to give. So it's going to be numerous years. Yeah, you do have me thinking a little bit though when the budget comes out. and there are going to be a lot people a lot worse off than me who are going to say, "Fuck it, I've had enough. I'm going to start rioting." Like the cities and stuff. If this was France and that budget was passed, Parliament would be
There'd be
burnt down.
riots.
Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Like it'd be mental. But we're a very placid sort of country for that. We shut up and we just take it, don't we? But I don't know. We'll see what happens this time.
But think about the taxes that you pay. You pay taxes on your earnings and PAYE. You pay national insurance, which was supposed to be for the health service, which they've spent and broke, right? It was also supposed to pay for your state pension, which they've spent for the next 3 generations, right? The council tax is supposed to pay for local upkeep, which they can't do, right?
Good one.
Your road fund license is supposed to pay for upkeep on the roads. We've got some of the worst roads in Europe. Then they're saying they're going to put an extra mileage charge in to help pay for the roads. Well, hang on a minute. We already do that.
I hit a pothole this big out of nowhere on a motorway, 70 mile an hour motorway. I mean, luckily it was the car I've just give back, so.
It's exploded into a fireball.
But if I'd have been in a smaller car, because that had quite big wheels, that car. If I'd have been in a smaller car, that's deadly in itself. For a motorway to have potholes like that is ridiculous.
So there's only so many taxes you can take without, and it's not like you're being taxed to pay for an improvement on your social circumstances or improvements to the country. This is just to keep our head above water.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah.
And it's no a direct poke at Labour, although I'm going to use their name. But every time they get in, if you look at a graph, it's like pouring a bucket of water into a sieve. They spend it like it was free. And then you get the Tories come in and they sell everything and cut everything to the bone to try and balance the books. Nobody ever gets a chance to fix it. And both of them have demonstrated for 60 years they're incapable of fixing it. The status quo's not working.
But they famously leave a note saying we've spent all the money. Do you remember that one? Yeah.
What we need is a dictatorship. That's what we need.
Well, there's plenty of dicks, that's for sure.
But I mean, we're in this. This creates this fiscal doom loop. If you've heard the expression as well, and where the excessive spending is, that they need to make up for this excessive spending and make up for this £22 billion black hole that an independent body has said didn't exist, but they still insist it did, by taxing people more, which makes them not spend as much, which makes businesses close down, which it's just, and they then got to make up the deficit again. So next budget, what? They're going to tax us more. It's just, we're going to be jobless and broke.
Why don't we look at the unpleasant choices that, to me, they're not unpleasant? Why don't we just stop doing stupid shit? Right. You've no job, you've no skills, you're not coming in here, right? You're sitting on the couch, but there's nothing actually wrong with you, and you're third generation lazy balls. Right, we're going to send a bus and you'll be picking dog shit out of public parks. That's how that's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
We should not be sending money to other countries to help who have got a fucking space program, right? But we've got people,
space program,
right?
Yeah,
we're giving away money to countries who can afford to spend it on improving their situation. Yet we'll put people in hotels who don't belong here, and we'll put squaddies out in a fucking bin bag.
Yeah,
something's not right. And if you dare to suggest these things aren't right, then somebody will jump out the bushes with a beanie hat on, and blue hair poking out of it, and scream in your face and glue themselves to the floor.
Yeah, I mean So, I mean, you take me on to the question, the big question that, lots of preppers say is this the goal?
No.
Or are they just incompetent?
They're
because
just
there's lots of people say that this is the way that they collapse our economy, and then we become reliant on the States, and we bing, bang, boom, 1984.
But that would require all of them to be that. I don't think they're that intelligent they could do that without being rumbled, because the SNP got in power in Scotland. They've done nothing. Labour have been in power for 60 years on and off. So have the Tories. The only thing they've got in common is they're incapable of running a government.
Bob's going to send us a couple of million Mexicans.
Yeah, we'll go one in, one out, Bob. We'd still get them back on a fucking boat the next day.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. I mean, please chat. Let me know what your theories are, because I know a lot of people do think that this is an agenda thing. So it'd be good to discuss what your point of views are. What's yours, Hawkins, on that?
I don't think they care. I think they're that detached from reality that the normal person lives. They just don't care. And as long as they're making money and staying richer than us, impoverished lot beneath them, they just don't care. It's somebody else's problem. They'll just carry it on for the next government. The next government carries on for the next one. Next one carries on for the next one. Nobody stays in power long enough to take any responsibility or accountability for it. Nobody cares. It's just that they're in and they're out. And yeah, there's something to be said for that dictatorship where you're in charge of a country. You should win a term for 20 years, and you should have periodic evaluations of your of your progress. And if it's not to scratch, we should go back to public lynching of the prime minister or something. I don't know. It's
sorry, MI5. He doesn't mean that.
they're knocking at the door now.
You said something, Hawkins, that's apt though. They're detached from reality. They've got 4 years and then they'll go into the public speaking circuit. They already came into politics with money, most of them. They'll be sponsored and on committees and different things after their 4 or 5 year tenure, and they'll do speaking functions and all the rest of it. We've got a 35 to 40 year working life to worry about. They've come into it for the most part with money. They've got 4 or 5 years to worry about and then go back out with money. I worry about paying the mortgage. They worry about colour matching the fucking duck pond. We are not the same.
Yeah. I don't see the agenda side. If somebody comments what they think on that, we'll happily read it out and discuss the point on it. But I just don't see them competent enough to it.
Do you remember years ago, like when you were growing up and you'd do history?
I can remember that far back. I'm not sure Brian can. But.
Yeah, it's the outside.
I remember black and white TVs and Champion the Wonder Horse.
You'd hear about prime ministers and leaders of countries who were genuinely in it for making the country better, and they weren't in it for self-gain and prosper and things. And now it just doesn't feel like that, does it, at all?
No, the detachment's unreal. The salary is the reason.
Brian as prime minister, and I'm taking the piss a bit when I say that, a little bit, Brian. Sorry, but if you had somebody of the more norm, I'll just call Brian normal. Maybe that's wrong as well. But someone from our, sort
You're right.
of upbringing as prime minister of the country, and I know it could go wrong on so many levels, but it needs that reset. This was my issue for the country.
This was my issue with reform, right? Because when I first heard of reform, I read their contract with the people, right? And it read like me and my mates sat in the pub. When you sit down with your mates and you're like, we know how to fix this country, why the hell are they not doing it? That's how it read. And I thought, this is brilliant. I can get behind this. Now, to gain a popular vote amongst certain people, they put Farage in. I don't know if that was a mistake, because love him or hate him, he's still got that. He's that Marmite. You've seen him trying to stand up for 30 seconds in Parliament and get heckled the whole time, and the Speaker not even intervene. The bias is unreal. So I'm not sure if it was a good thing. Whereas Tice, I hadn't really heard of him much before then, so I listened to him as if you'd listen to a guy in the pub. But now it's Farage again. It's gone back to that. Well, he's got a lot of money. He's a businessman. It's So does he lose that vote? Thank you, Andy, for the £5 super chat, by the way. He says, we need a libertarian small government, small state.
I think part of it is the culture in the UK, as in the appearance of doing things right. We want to be seen to taking the moral high ground and everything. Okay, but it's always at somebody else's expense. If they want to move in somebody with no papers and no background, it's always in somebody else's area. If I was to say to you, we'll move them into your spare bedroom, or we'll move them next door to you in a hotel, I would suggest that they wouldn't be so keen.
Yeah.
That being said, it's common sense that we speak about, but you rarely encounter. And I think if there was a general election tomorrow, Reform would get a landslide, rightly or wrongly. And by the way, you could vote SNP, you could vote Labour, Lib Dem, Greens, or whoever you wanted, and you'd be well within your rights to do that. That's why we're in a democracy.
Yeah.
But nothing's going to change. The status quo has stayed the same since the 40s. We need a change.
The only reason Labour got in was because people were disillusioned with the system. Because the majority of people didn't vote for them because they didn't go out and vote. Because they thought it was a given. It's just, it's nobody wants to shake the system up because as soon as they're in power, they might be cutting off their own nose to spite the face. So they'll just keep it. Nothing's going to change, I don't think, with our voting system and stuff like that. Dior says it's amazing. There are so many similar problems in the UK that there are very similar to us in the US. Many of your problems are probably worse than the US's. Probably is not worse, but probably is more concentrated. So imagine just New York as its own island. That's currently what England's turning into.
It is a UKPN party.
Well,
we need. I
can barely keep the lights on. Have you seen the price of running a political party?
like Hawkins, I'm an engineer by profession and training. It's all I've done since I was 16, and different variations of. And in that theme, you look for consistency. You look for predictability. You're always looking ahead to solve problems before they are a problem, and there's no shades of grey.
Yeah.
You could run a country like that because you can, if you do preventative maintenance on your country, if you sort out the basics, if you set your stall out right, your future problems can be predicted and contained and managed. We're not doing any of that. We're always firefighting. We're always going from one breakdown to the next. We're not doing any maintenance. All we're doing is firefighting. We're just going from one car crash to another. This can't continue.
Mm-hmm. Well, it can, and it is up until the point it's done, right? But I mean, that's why they're gradually disarming the nation, one ninja sword at a time, right? Can't even mace somebody.
It's not just us though, is it? It's every Western country is fucked. Look at the debt that the US has. Look at the debt Canada has. Look at the debt of every European country. Everyone is, pardon my French, fucked. And everybody knows it, but we're just carrying on as if we can just print more money and print more money. And at some point, it's going to collapse. It can't carry on forever, can it? We can't just keep plodding along.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the whole point of it. It's already doing that. And it's funny because I watch PMQs all the time. Yes, I know I'm sick. I watch the puppet show all the time. But the answers are always obfuscation, complete obfuscation, right? So what's the issue with the NHS? I know firsthand, it's waiting times, it's getting appointments, it's actually seeing a doctor. They keep bragging that they've give out 10 million more appointments, or whatever the number is, like 20% more appointments under them. Anyone know, hazard a guess why that is? Because they're all fucking telephone appointments since COVID, right? So they've kept that telephone appointment. Mrs. Urban Prepper had a telephone appointment with dermatology. Not a video call, not in person. So just describe your skin to us. Not we'll have a look at it. Describe it to us. So that classes as an appointment for them. So they've given away all these extra appointments, but your waiting times are still a year to get seen.
And yet we can put dentists, we can put doctors, we can put other health professionals, pay them privately and stick them into a hotel to make sure that we're carrying out due diligence on a stranger who's already broke the law to be here. This isn't an illegal immigration bash, incidentally. It's just a problem of the UK that the NHS is being dragged down by that as well. They are not the cause of the NHS's problems, but they're not fucking helping it either.
No.
I tell you what though, I pay for Bupa through work.
Same.
The waiting times through that is like snap of the fingers, you're there in 2 weeks for whatever, like MRI scans, CT scan,
Well,
whatever
we know it can
is.
work. We know it can work.
If you're willing to pay for it, it works brilliantly, and it's right and it's wrong. Like, it's like you feel sorry, like, for people, and I know people who waited for 18 months or something that you can just turn around and get an appointment for in 2 weeks, and it's like, it's not even that much money that we're paying for Bupa. So
Right.
What's going wrong for the difference to be so much?
So this is where I alienate half of my audience. Sorry, guys, but bear with me on this. This is what privatization of the NHS should be, right? And I know that's scary words, and we've seen it on all the doom slogans around election times. They're going to kill the NHS. They're going to privatize. They're going to kill the NHS. No, it's integrating a system like Bupa into a already system that we love. I love the NHS. My family works with it and stuff like that. They've saved my life. You know, I'm fully behind the NHS, but the privatization needs to be anyone working with over a certain salary. You go in the private sector of it, and instantly companies have to catch up. You go for a job in the States, it comes with medical. It comes with, you know, stuff like that. And I don't mean companies just because, like, you're on 40, 50 grand. I mean large corporations like McDonald's, who can afford to pay all the staff minimum wage, can also afford to stick private healthcare on it. Companies need to catch up, and the NHS still exists for people who can't afford it, people who have no means, but it's also paid for through companies when it is somebody. That is it's a hybrid.
It's not a bad idea, but there's a problem with that. Like Hawkins, I get it through my employer. And our employer a couple of years ago did a thing that it used to be you had to be a band like ours that you would get it as part of your employment. They decided that they wanted to give it to everybody, so they invested the money and gave it to everybody, whether they were on 20 grand or 60 grand, everybody got it. Mm. The problem with that is there's only so many private hospitals, there's only so many private doctors, and they doctors, incidentally, are not private doctors. They work in the NHS and they do a clinic at the Nuffield or whatever. So it's the same doctors. Mm-hmm. And my experience of Bupa 20 years ago and my experience of Bupa in the last 6 months has been entirely different. Because the first time I went and dealt with it, like Hawkins, I was dealt with in a week. I had MRI scans within the following week. I had an operation scheduled within 2 weeks after that. This time, because the NHS are trying to pay to clear their backlogs, so they're paying exorbitant prices to the private sector to try and cut their waiting list down. So when I went the first time, I turned up reasonably well dressed, and it was everybody in there was well to do and had money. I turned up the last time, and there was a guy with a tracksuit on and a t-shirt and a Tesco carrier bag with a bottle in it and stuff. It was entirely different, and the queues were 4 months. So it went for 4 months. It went for like 4 days to 4 months because there's now spillover from the NHS to Bupa hospitals, and it's just clogging everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But your idea alike.
But if it was handled by private insurance companies, we drop the national insurance off the salary, yeah, and your insurance through the private company, the premiums would probably be less than national insurance anyway, so the working man wouldn't be worse off, even if they were paying extra to add their family to it and stuff like that. You know,
just giving Labour an idea. Now they'll force the companies to give private healthcare and keep the national insurance.
The only problem with it is you get private medical insurance in tiers and different levels. Ours is everything. I know others, it's entirely different because they sometimes screw up when you're phoning up to book something or get something done, and they tell you about somebody else's package that's different from yours. You're entitled to X amount of this, so 6 days of physio, whereas ours is unlimited. So you could have a condition that is not covered by the private sector or your private medical insurance, and you get trapped between the two in the NHS. There would have to be things sorted out. It would take the load off the NHS, but you might not have private cover for a condition, and you need to be referred back to the NHS. I think it's a workable problem, and I think it's a good idea.
It's admin. Most of NHS. I mean, if you guys are nurses, doctors, anything like that in the chat, please pipe in by all means. Snapdragon said, "Can I just defend the NHS for a minute? Can you? You can ban me after. Never. I work with a suspected cancer referrals, and the amount of patients who do not attend appointments is very frustrated. Yeah, I get that 100%. Listen, we're not against the NHS, but you guys in the NHS are under so much strain that with good admin and a semi-privatized system would relieve some of that pressure."
But what they're saying there, what Snapdragon's saying with people not attending appointments,
Charge them.
Exactly. I was going to say fine them. Make it like Australia, where if you don't vote, you get fined. If you don't attend your appointment, you get fined.
And I don't give a fuck if you've got no job and you're on the social. That's fine. We're going to deduct it out your money every month.
Yeah, but it just turn up, or a courtesy call. Come on.
We're not bashing NHS, just so you know.
Yeah,
I'm very much in favour of it. Mike's got a good idea, and I think it's a good idea. My wife's a health visitor. My daughter's a mental health nurse. My other daughter's a student nurse. I'm very much on board with NHS. It's just not working.
Yeah. I looked into Bupa. It was quoted $275 a month for family cover, which if you take off your national insurance off that, and companies, this is the point, is you shouldn't be doing it, right? As soon as you retire, you're on the NHS system as a private individual. You've paid into it already enough. It's people who are working for companies over a certain size, companies, I don't want to affect small business, companies over a certain size, or even unions of smaller companies, or companies like FSB, Federation of Small Businesses. They could offer a package to small businesses. They need to catch up with the insurance. And not just to say you lot can go to Bupa if you want to, because you're working, and we get to go to a different hospital and stuff like that. It's just to pay what we're already getting. And it would streamline that system, give them more money for staff, employees, no doctors' strikes and stuff like that. They come over here for their education. Why would you stay here when you can go into private medical abroad and earn 20 times what you earn here? I don't blame them.
My daughter was doing medicine and hated it. She's now doing nursing. She spent 4 years at medical school at Glasgow Uni. And she turned up for all the interviews. Edinburgh University, when she turned up, there was 6 places for school leavers from Scotland out of 168. 6. 6. It blew my mind, because they needed the money from the foreign students to run the courses, so they say.
Yeah. Do we need diversity officers in the NHS? There's a lot of unnecessary fat in the NHS. There is, and there's lots of, so the guy I spoke to originally, won't say names or anything like that, but the area I was living at the time, he was in charge of the IT for the NHS for that entire region. And he was telling me the issues with the systems. And I'm a coder. Yeah, I'm a web developer. They're paying hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds for systems that I could build in my garage on my PC. They've just, tendered out this government contract and they're just getting rinsed for it. And then they've got 3 different systems. And instead of upgrading the whole thing, it's like, oh, we'll just bolt this on, or we'll have to change this system. And you go there now and doctors are doing more admin and nurses are doing more admin than they're doing treating patients. I genuinely said one of the employment schemes for the NHS should be admin staff. So a nurse can just hand over a cheat sheet over to this secretary and she does all the admin. Then the nurse is not taken off the floor. The doctor's not taken away. You see a doctor for an appointment, you've seen it, and most of you will have seen it, sat in a GP, somebody will go in, the guy that's before you goes in, comes out, goes to the receptionist and goes away. How long are you sat there still waiting to then be called in? Because he's doing all the admin for that appointment.
Yep.
They're paid too much to be secretaries. Why not just employ more admin staff? It's just mental.
Because the systems are bollocks. My wife she can go and do 4 visits, right? And look at 4 newborns, whatever it is she's out about, and then spend at least the same amount of time doing admin.
Mm-hmm.
Me and her discuss how she'll be working to 7, 8 o'clock at night in her own time and doesn't get paid for it. Just to try and keep up with the backload, because they're absolutely screwed. Yeah.
And they've took away bursaries to train new ones as well recently, I believe.
Not in Scotland.
Well, they have in England for the midwifery. There used to be like a double bursary for like a nursing and midwife sort of thing. Gone. because I was looking at it as an option for the missus, and yeah, they've scrapped it. So we're short, but we don't need to pay anyone to do it. So.
Because my middle daughter, she's in her third year nursing now, so I know it's still there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like I say, it's different. I mean, the first thing she's complained about when she's been down here is NHS England compared to NHS Scotland. If you look at it on the surface, we've got more modern ambulances down here than you guys have got up there. But appointments wise, she was better off up there 100 times.
Well, that's our penance for shacking up with, one of these southern softies. You've got to pay for your pleasures.
When you say we've got better ambulances, are you using horse and cart up there, Brighton?
No, they've got like hours from the 90s. First time I saw one, I thought, oh, is that a retro convent? No, it's a real ambulance. Right, yeah, NHS, easily fixed, but instead of replacing the bucket, they'll just keep putting water in the holy bucket. That's the problem, right? And yeah, that's an infinite. This is infinite if you don't fix the initial problem, the admin problem and stuff like that. So there you go. That's hemorrhaging money there, all adding to the total collapse eventually.
What about the fact that the police are spent half the time doing admin or chasing hurty words on Facebook, and
it's just the police.
they don't get paid enough for what they do, in my opinion, and they work hard, and they're bogged down with bullshit laws they're charged to enforce. And
they have got to be so delicate with how they do things, otherwise they're stuck behind a desk for 6, 7, 8 months, 12 months while they do an inquiry. It's ridiculous. And the other thing, I mean, that's my sympathetic point to them. And I, like you, Brian, respect what they do, stuff like that. It's what I considered at one point. But what annoys me about them, and apparently it's changing back shortly, but now you have to have a degree to join. And they've upped the education standard to get in, and they've lowered the physical requirement to get in. You can practically walk the bleep test to get in the police now. When we were kids, all officers were like 5'10", 6 foot nearly, built like brick, and they could run and they could catch you and they could enforce the law. When you calling out domestic violence cases and two, lovely police officers come round, but between them they're about 6 stone wet through, what are they supposed to do?
I've got a lot of sympathy for them, in as much as what they're asked to do to enforce the law, and then the court. So a lot of people that have committed serious crimes have been arrested and released and then killed people. A lot of knife crimes that you've seen in the UK, the guys have been lifted for another crime, charged, and then sent out. That's not the coppers' fault. That's a broken legal system.
Yeah. It won't last, John. It won't last. They try it often, but India's a much more trained army. It won't last.
Trump will fix it.
Or just let them fight it out. Wasn't it the Pakistan-India conflict where he said the quote, "They have no fucking idea what they're doing." I love that.
I'm going for the Nobel Peace Prize, they would all be glowing in the dark if it wasn't for me. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful glowing rocks. Best glowing rocks in the world.
Love it. So, I mean, yeah, the police, it's the same. I think all services are the same. If you've got to look at the fire brigade instantly for bonfire nights just passed, and you've got residents launching fireworks at fire officers in Birmingham who are trying to save lives.
I had a fireman doing a manual handling course at work for us a week ago, delivering it to the team of staff, and he earns more from doing a manual handling course in his off days than he does from his job. They were saying the new recruits now, and he's pretty high up in the fire brigade, and the new recruits now, I think he was saying, is 26,000 a year. I think he said.
Holy fuck!
And trying
ridiculous
to entice people into the fire brigade, and he's like, if something goes wrong on a fire, you've got to justify where you were. He said every fireman's got a number in the fire engine. Everybody's got a job. It's designated. You should be here at this point in the fire. This many minutes after being here, you should be undertaking this task. And if you've deviated from it and something goes wrong and someone gets hurt, or God forbid somebody dies, you're there explaining to the barristers why you weren't doing your job at that time. And you're trying to entice people in at the mid-20s to high 20s. It's mental, isn't it, for what you're trying to get people to do for that money? But at the same time, I think he said he works.
It's blame culture.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Constable starting on the police is 29,907.
That's not a lot of money for people stabbing you and kicking you and
risk your life for next to nothing. I mean, the military's the same though. The military's because you're working 24/7. If you worked out the hourly wage, you'd be on less than a paper boy when you first join. But it's ridiculous, and no wonder the numbers are low. Because why would you? You're getting paid less than you would being an office boy in a building. You've got to watch everything you do. Every single thing you do is scrutinized. Every single person walking is now a journalist. Yeah. Everyone's a journalist. And everything can be taken out of context. The reason these police, no matter what opinion they have, will stand there silently at protests is because they could say the perfectly right thing, but it could be chopped up and it could be used. It's just the risk all the time.
I've got a very good friend at work and outside of work who's just joined as a special constable.
There you go. Starting for a PTE after phase 2 training, 34k. It's still not enough. So
I've got a guy at work who's just joined as a special constable, and they've said to him already, you're thinking about doing it full time at some point because it's just voluntary, minimum 16 hours a month or something like that. And he just said, God, no, I can't afford the pay cut.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He can afford to volunteer to do it part time, but he can't afford to do it full time.
Yeah. It's insane, and maybe volunteer force is the way it has to go, and I don't know, just more incentivized with stuff. But yeah, all the systems are breaking slowly, and that's the whole point of this, right? This is the crumblies, because if the shit hits the fan, do you want to rely on the underpaid officers to come and save you? Do you want to rely on the underpaid, overstretched fire service to come and put the old block of flats out because somebody tried to light a candle who has no idea what they're doing? Do you want to rely on the 4-hour ambulance wait during peace times when it's SHTF? It's just, and they're going to have their own families to care about at that stage. It's just ridiculous. And not only that, we'll get onto the bit that you two want to talk about. Not only that, we've got to talk about. Well, we know there's been an influx of population, right, in the UK, official or unofficial. We also know there's been a massive spike in AI and technology. Brian knows firsthand because he's causing half the problem himself. Not many people know when you do a search on Google, it uses this much power as a physical metric, right? So this much power. An AI search is 10 times the amount of power. Now that it's a nominal amount, but when it's 60 million people doing it, it's massive. Yeah. And we've got to have these server farms and stuff like that. And it's not even an option now. It's not like you can avoid AI. Well, you can. You've got to use DuckDuckGo and places like that. But if you do a normal Google search now, it does the AI search at the same time for you. So that, plus population, plus everything like that, our grid was already under strain before the last 2 years of advancements of people and AI.
Bring it down.
How's it coping?
It's not going to cope. It's not going to cope. And it's not going to cope based on its previous history of our country does not do large infrastructure projects well, right? So I'm quite comfortable, sadly, in pointing out their track record. They're always horrifically delayed, and they're always horrific over budget. We still haven't got the last nuclear power stations online from 10 years ago, and we're paying double the price for it. Double.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing the great grid upgrade because the transmission network, fundamentally, and I've said this a million times, when you had industry, you built a power station, then you had the cities revolving around it to man up the industry.
Yeah.
Those
We've all
coal-fired and
played
oil-fired
Sim
stations,
City back in the day. One doesn't work without the other, right?
and that's it. That's exactly how it used to be. They're
Mhm.
all gone. We've shut the oil-fired, we've shut down the coal burners, and the gas ones are usually getting turned on as and when. So the power's in the wrong location. We've got wind turbines, Scotland, off the coast of Surrey, different places, but they're fundamentally nowhere near where the largest demand is, which is in the southern parts of England.
Mhm.
And the
Brian's
transmission, and my house, and then the transmission system was built from the 50s onwards.
Mhm.
And a lot of the transformers are 40, 50 years old. So what you've got is an aging transmission system that's sending power from the wrong place to the right place. We're electrifying your home heating. We want you to have electric cars. And yet we've got 5 nuclear power stations. We're shutting down 3 of them within the next 3 years. We're not building any other ones that are going to be on stream anytime soon. And they're doing the great grid upgrade, which at a conservative estimate, that will be done by 2030. But the legal challenges have already started hitting the tail end of last year because not in my backyard. So,
Fluffy the Bunny and all that.
Yeah. So, and that's before you start talking about massive server farms. So, in the balance of probability, I would suggest that any weather-related problems aside, we will not meet demand that's predicted on time.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind the demand that it will actually be, in my humble opinion. Hawkins, feel free to jump in and have your opinion.
Mine's similar to you, mate. I think I even mentioned in the group last night that my old man rang me out the blue and asked me which, in his words, which power supply to buy. What do you mean power supply? Or which battery to back up my house? Because in his words, the country's fucked. And I was like, fucking hell, I've not said that to you for like a year. What's brought that? And he went, oh, just the feeling I get. But yeah,
more and more
people,
people are not preppers, but are now looking into preppers.
Yeah, it's I agree with Brian. The grid is under pressure, and it'll you saw, was it January 6th last year? Was it how close it came when we had to pay
February? The German low wind thing throughout Europe hit and cold, and we couldn't meet demand, and it nearly shut down in the one day.
Yeah, we had to bring an interconnect back up, didn't we, with Europe early and pay an undisclosed amount of money. And all it'll take is that, or if you just get a beast from the east this year that was to last for 3 weeks solid,
We're fucked.
In a period where there was too much wind and you got to stop the turbines or something like that.
They're not the right type of wind.
Exactly. Yeah, too windy wind.
Too much or too little.
Yeah. It's that's it. It's but
isn't it not just that though? It's if it's too turbulent, right? If it's not the right direction as well as all sorts, isn't there?
What they generally do is they'll do a wind study before they put the turbines in place, because they'll talk about it's got to be the right type of wind, like you say, and that's basically to do with the vortexes as they get through valleys and different things. So they don't want turbulence. Turbulence is toxic for wind farms, to the point that people that are putting new wind farms developments in are bitching about the ones that are in the wind path in front of them, because they're getting the wake of that, which is turbulent vortexes, which they don't want. Yeah. Any
of you know much about solar panels? No one does. Let's move on quickly.
Never touched them, have we, Brian?
No.
It's in the sunshine.
It's an expensive investment, solar, and that's what stops a lot of people. But you did the math, Hawkins, on that. What's your time period, you reckon, for ROI?
So mine was something like 13k to install. Took it out on a loan, so total cost is about 16k with the interest. But it's been in not even 6 months yet, and it's made me 1,200 made or saved between the battery with the off-peak charging and discharging and things. It's made me £1,200 so far.
Made you? Is that the savings on electric? Full stop, or is that?
No, that's it. So it's made or saved £1,200 in less than 6 months. I think it was June I put it in. So I'm on track for quite a nice little turnaround, like 5 years sort of thing. So and we didn't even. It wasn't even in for the great part of summer when then that spring sunshine comes out in the cold days and you're banging out the kilowatt hours. Yeah, I'll have a much better picture by August next year of when the return on investment will be.
The savings alone can also almost make the loan payments, right? That's what it sounds like.
That's what happened to mine. Yep.
It's costing me 60 quid a month. So basically what I did was my loan cost me 260 and my Octopus previously was 300 because, yes, I use a lot of electricity. But basically I've just dropped my Octopus bill by 200. So it's just cost me an extra £60 a month. So,
yeah.
But I'm a high energy user.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. My everything. Your hair stand up on end, and you've got to give yourself you get an X-ray as you walk into his garage.
My blue hair, yeah.
Yeah, your blue hair and your piercings. No, yeah. So I mean, this is all going to add to the situation, and very difficult to do. But what's your timeline on critical thinking on this, Brian? Because if somebody wants to start thinking about solar, they might think a 5-year plan. Is that too little, too late? Are you Yeah, but are they better off going out getting something immediately, like a power bank and some sort of redundancy straight away? How long do you think the grid's got essentially?
It nearly went down in February.
Mm-hmm. What happens if it goes down, though? Right, they can just turn the switch and turn it back on.
No, it depends because. If you've got a cascade failure, so if you've got a problem, that will then tend to create another problem. If they can catch it and control it in time, then they can have a controlled shutdown, right? They'll shut down parts of the industry. They might do rolling blackouts or whatever. However, if it's too sudden, they couldn't do that in Spain because the problems all cascaded so quickly, and they didn't have the inertia and capacity on the grid. Like we don't, they couldn't fire up nuclear stations, gas-fired stations quickly enough to get the inertia back on the grid. So then you had a cascade failure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've went away from coal-fired, oil-fired, not many nuclear power stations left, gas stations and care and maintenance and running on demand, and a reliance on wind. We are going the same way as their model is. We will have similar problems.
Mm-hmm. But they did get the power on in places relatively quickly in terms of yeah. I mean, they won't mention on the news that there was rural areas that still were off 2 weeks later because that's not good news. So, but yeah, go on. Why?
Because of the French.
Right.
The only reason their grid get rebuilt was because they could get power from the French nuclear power stations, which have got 28 of them. I think it's something like 28. So they had enough that they could on stream and help them rebuild in stages. But
can't they go down for maintenance this year?
Yes. Well, they had cracks in them 2 years ago. That led to a loss of capacity in the French grid. Now, if they've got a loss of capacity in their grid, then they're all going to be giving us 6 gigawatts a day that we take from France. So they shut them down because they found cracks in the reactors. Funnily enough, this year, they found more cracks. So it doesn't need much to cause us a problem. When we're dependent on between 6 and 8 gigawatts a day from the continent, just to keep the lights on, if we've got a low wind condition and we can't get it, and also bear in mind that Norway are kicking off because their own population's suffering because they make more money sending power to us, and their population's unhappy. And now they've also got low water levels. So if all the countries we're dependent on give us power decide we're not getting it, then we're going to have a lot of people sitting in the dark. So it's going to boil down to money. It's going to boil down to money on how soon you can get it. My personal recommendation would be, if you can afford it now, do it now. If you can't afford a full house installation, then if you can afford, and I know it's Christmas, money's tight for everybody, you'll never get a better price than a Delta 2 power bank for 390 quid, whatever it is now. And Michael's got links for them for Amazon, but they're basically refurbished, but it's just because the boxes are damaged. It's a 1 kilowatt power bank. That and I'll always promote them, and I get nothing for it, but City Plumbing You'll get an 8 foot by 4 foot, 500 watt solar panel. You could pull out your shed and stick against the side of it. You will have a chance. Or even buy a generator. Even go and buy a 300 quid petrol generator. But you're buying yourself chances.
Link in the chat, they are down to £390.15 limited time and selling fast, according to Amazon. 200 bought, 200 plus bought in the last month.
Give it a week or two and it's, is it Black Friday or something, is it? Is that the one Black Friday?
I don't think they'll drop much lower than that, even for that. Probably down to 350 maybe. But
somebody in the chat
was going to show people one bit
why Ukraine's grid has stayed up despite all the drone attacks, and that's simply the fact that every European country has given them every spare part that we have to keep their grid up.
We've sent them our spares, right, that we would need to do a restart.
Yep.
Every European country has given them everything. Right. Yep.
We've been a shit.
Yeah.
We spoke about this briefly the other day. So that part of your infrastructure is your power, your water, gas, that kind of stuff. We have given away and lack the manufacturing capacity to build a large transformer within a timely fashion, and we don't have many spares. I don't know how many spares we've got left, if any. But if you're moving a 200-ton transformer, that's a major logistic exercise. It takes planning. And when we mentioned the grid going down and Spain getting it back up, they were damned lucky. They were damned lucky because there's no way you can predict if it's going to come back up or what's going to break when it goes down. Because if it goes down and you get surges and transformers heat up and pop and things, which could happen, then they're no coming back up. That might be a local problem. That could be a national problem, but we don't know.
Well, the thing with the European continent is you've got AC. Yeah, I'm drinking Stella, man. It's fine.
No. Somebody's just sent me a £10 donation on PayPal and said, because you're drinking out of a jug, it's actually a glass. It's not a jug. But thank you, I appreciate it.
So the European continent has high voltage AC links between countries. So you've got the alternating current, so you can keep that waveform going between countries. The problem we have as an island nation is we don't share an AC interconnector with anyone. Everything's high voltage DC, so we have to grid form our waves, our sine wave on our side of the border. So that will only synchronize to what's already there. So we can't just pull off the European continent like they can when they're on the continent. If you know what I mean. Sorry, I've had quite a few Stellas.
Tell the nice people, Hawkins, what we're building in terms of high voltage interconnectors from Scotland to England.
Well, you nice Scottish people have decided that you'll send a few gigawatts our way. So, yeah, we're sticking more HVDC links from the Scottish side to the southern side. But the problem with that is, again, you're back down to the fact that
DC.
It's a DC link. So it will synchronize to the grid that exists, but it doesn't form the sine wave like a big piece of spinning rust, as we like to call it, in the old nuclear or coal or gas, CCGT. So
they are doing bits that they are trying to do grid forming battery systems at the moment, I believe. But that's small scale. I mean, that's lipstick on a pig. That might keep the lights on in a city, a small city, if they're nearby for an hour. It's not going to do much.
Yeah, a couple of comments here regarding the prepping side of things while we're talking. Snapdragon said, "I love my Delta 2." Mr. T says, "IBC containers are cheap on eBay. Stores 1,000 liters of water. Yeah, make sure when you fill it, it's somewhere you don't need to move it. Yeah, or don't put it upstairs. Don't put 1,000 liters of water upstairs. Yeah,
metric ton."
Yes, literally. So yeah, just be careful of that. Somebody said Juice Volt says bollocks, get a generator. I'm all for that if you are rural enough. You
should have both if you've got the money.
You should have both, but if you are urban like me, the generator is great, but everyone's going to hear that. My neighbours are going to hear that and stuff like that. If it comes to a complete blackout. Yeah, okay. When there's a complete power outage, I'm mowing the lawn. They're still going to be very suspect of that. So the reason for having solar for me is the stealth aspect to it as well. I know there's no stealth when you've got loads of solar panels on your roof, but that's become common. People will just be tuned into seeing that. But if it's like a Delta 2 and you've got one of the fold out panels, Brian's done some reviews on some really good budget options for that as well on his channel, so make sure you check them out. But if you've got something like that, you can take it out, charge it, put it back in. Nobody's none the wiser. Yeah, so I agree with you. Generators are great, and when I'm off grid, it'll be one of the back power sources, you know.
For winter time, if you've got solar, you want a generator anyway, because if you've got a couple of power banks, you could fire up your generator, recharge them all in about an hour. Put the when it's noisiest, put the generator away, and then at night time when everyone's quiet, you're tucked up with lights and power till the next day.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So on a 6.2 kilowatt propane generator, it's just in my basket on eBay. I just don't have the money for it, but
you and me both, mate.
Bit more overtime, and we'll see how I go.
Oh, I wish I had the option of overtime. Genuinely, I'd just be there 24/7. I have a Jenny, but solar is silent. Yes, there you go. And yeah, Bob says, good thinking with that one. Cheap way to supplement Delta 2. I bought a 200 amp LifePo 4 battery for just 220, circa 2.5 kilo. Is he talking about daisy chain in there?
No, so he's buying a slave battery. So basically just a battery, not even a power bank battery, which is fine. So it'll be 12 volts. It'll charge it slowly through the
MPPT.
The XT60 iPort. So it'll be a slow charge rate, but it will charge it. That's great. The problem comes when you're recharging it. So you need a way to recharge it. Otherwise, it's a paperweight. So with any power bank, there's no point buying a power bank, spare batteries, unless you've got a means to charge. Because at some point, all of them are fucked. So only buy power banks and batteries when you've got sufficient means to charge them. Otherwise, they'll all be discharged and they're no good to you. So
buying one, putting it in the box and leaving it under the stairs, as people have done, is not the idea.
For what he's doing, it's a great idea, a cheap way to extend your battery capacity in terms of kilowatt hours. But what you need to do is buy your solar panels that you've got to charge your Delta 2. You've got a couple of choices. You could buy a 230 volt battery charger, and when your Delta 2 is charged up and the sun's shining, just use those panels to charge the Delta 2 still. Plug in your battery charger to the Delta 2 and then recharge the other battery. So you're sending it back the other way. Or you've got your solar panels, MPPT charge controller, and charge it separately. So you've got two options to fix that.
Amphia says generators require fuel and this will run out very quickly with grid down situation. Fuel distribution will fail within days, along with communications required to initiate the black start. Yeah, bear in mind, fuel stations, very few commercial fuel stations have much backup power. You are propane, yeah. But normal fuel stations and stuff like that don't have that much backup power, stuff like that, and they need it to pump it out. I
guarantee you now, if we had a grid down,
I think some of the motorway services have backup power.
But I reckon I could drive around for a 75-mile radius from my place, and I wouldn't find a bloody motorway petrol station with anything.
But you live the back of yonder. You drive 75 miles to find a corner shop.
I wish I was that remote. I chose not to back in the day when I bought the house, but I kind of wish I'd gone more remote now sometimes. But yeah,
no, but it's into solar a lot.
But the thing is, even the places that have backup power for fuel pumping, do you think we're going to be allowed to have it, or is it going to be commandeered for all emergency services? This is the thing. The gates are going to be shut straight away.
That's if they can even coordinate them.
Yeah.
I'd just take my generator down to the local petrol station. I'd power the petrol station up, and then I'd take the fuel that I need.
If that's something you were considering as a fan, consider even a manual one, or take your power bank, your little AC300, and you could plug in a 12-volt pump.
I hate to say it. I hate to advertise it.
Lift pumps and stuff that'll pull a couple of atmospheres up, and I've
Yeah,
thought about it.
I hate to advertise it, but I've seen this awesome thing on the other video app that people use, and also Temu and places like that. So you can guess which kind of place I'm on about. And it's the siphon that goes onto your regular drill. And it's got a motor for it and two pipes coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that works a treat. It's enough to fill a couple of jerry cans.
I'd just be hesitant to what
100%.
I use for pumping petrol versus diesel. Diesel go all day long. It's not going to ignite, but just be careful what
It's the vapor. It's a problem.
Pump petrol. That's all I'm going to say.
Because see your
Don't
drill,
do any of this at home. Don't do any of this.
No, if you've got like a DeWalt drill, you'll occasionally, if you're loading it heavily, you'll see sparks at the end. That's because the brushes are arcing across the comm. Sparks and arcing in an atmosphere where you get petrol vapor generally isn't going to end well.
I used to fuel my motorbike with a cigarette in my mouth. That'd be fine.
With your luck, you're a fucking lucky man to be here.
this is when I had luck back in the day.
I've stunned your eyebrows.
You've used it all up, haven't you?
I've used it all, yeah. 7 motorbike crashes and I'm still here. All my luck has gone. Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, without segueing completely into solar, that is another risk. The grid going down. Subsequently, people must remember your water taps are not going to work at the same time. Everything requires the electricity. Sewage will stop being pumped out. Comms will stay on for a short while. If you've got it and you can use it, make sure you've got a phone that plugs into your phone line that's powered via the line. That will keep power longer than anything else, like electricity-wise, because the local exchanges have backup power and it's powered through that phone line. So it's a good backup. It's good emergency communication. Don't only expect a couple of days out of it, but it is a good emergency communication. We should all get one for UKPN and have it the red phone, just in case.
It's a limited amount of free power if you know how.
Yeah. just giving away all his secrets there. It used to be in council estates that I remember you could tap into the street lights and run it into the house. That was the other one.
Yeah, I wouldn't try that.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't try this at
Dangerous.
home. Is that Hawkins' pick, Mike filling up his motorbike? Yes.
I like that.
I only use it as a reference because I genuinely did that once, and the woman in the petrol station was going nuts. But it was just automatic that when I got off my bike, it was automatic as a smoker. When I got off my bike, I'd take my helmet off and I'd light a cigarette. And it just all happened. I needed fuel after a long journey, so I pulled up, helmet off, lit a cigarette, then completely blank after this long journey. Thought, I'll just start pumping with a cigarette in my mouth. And yeah, she wasn't happy. Got a lifetime ban from a petrol station. I'm well prepared, but 5 miles from Leeds city centre. My missus doesn't want to live in the sticks. How do I persuade her we should move? Kicking
Tell her
and
she's starting
screaming.
to sound like your old wife, your ex-wife.
Yeah, you're starting to sound like my next ex-wife. Convincing missuses to do anything is not our forte. We've always said, even with prepping, you've just got to prep around them if they're not interested. Most of them do come on board. I mean, and the fact that a lot of people who aren't preppers are starting to realise, I know people buying extra food in, still not preppers. I know people getting water in just in case, still not preppers. I know people that are getting power supplies in, still not preppers. They're not classing themselves, but people are seeing it. People are seeing it.
Is a good solar storm to take the grid out. No, nothing too intense.
No, we
2
don't.
weeks, right?
No, we
2
don't.
weeks.
Hawkins does not speak for the channel.
Right. And then I tell you what, you'll have no problem convincing your partners to become preppers. 2 weeks out of electricity.
Yeah, no, right. So what will happen? What will happen is after them 2 weeks, or during them 2 weeks, or once it's all back to normal, we'll have an influx of people, and the Delta 2s will be sold out. 6 months after that, Brian, where will all them Delta 2s be?
In Brian's basement.
Behind me.
in
They'll be
Facebook
sitting on that table
Marketplace.
there.
There'll be Facebook Marketplace. They'll be anywhere because they think everything's fine now. Just like everyone's lived through the jab cough days and forgot about it instantly. Still only have enough food in for a day. Still only have enough toilet roll for the next 3 wipes.
Right. We'll make it more serious. We'll have an X50. We'll take the power out for 3 months. You have
to when you come back at that.
Ambitious. 3 months. It would never. Yeah, you wouldn't
never
have
be
it back. No,
you would have been eaten by then.
I'm too gristly.
All kidding aside, I don't think people generally understand how perilous the state of the NHS is, how perilous the country's finances are, how perilous your public services are in relation to what you expect and versus what they can deliver, and even your infrastructure like energy. Everything's broken.
Yeah.
And these tigers, for fuck's sake.
It's never going to live it down. No, it's true, and that's what the whole thing's about. This is not like, and we're not even right. We're not going to go into it. I'm just going to briefly mention it. We're not even talking here about civil unrest. We're not even talking about civil war, third world wars. We're not even talking about the military going to action. We're just talking about the infrastructure of our country. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we're a third world country, and I know there's people much worse off, and we do live in a country where we are lucky for a lot of the things we have. But it is teetering, is pretty much the thing. Right. Timelines was the next point, but we've kind of touched on that. It's difficult to say. Band Again, who's a regular channel visitor, put in before that if we get a major winter, that he reckons they're going to have a bad winter this winter, and that could be the end of the grid right there, just in that, or at least a prolonged grid down situation there. So timelines is very difficult to say, isn't it?
You don't like to put the fear of God into people, but I've been asked this a million times. When do you think there'll be problems with the power grid? Will there be problems with it? So, well, they've got problems now. I can't tell you when it will fail. I can't tell you when we'll have a major issue, but I'm 100% confident that there's going to be one.
It's like a CME from the sun, isn't it? It's a certainty at some point it's going to go Pete Tong.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, and I think in that situation, I think our original estimates are way out the window as well, because we were like, I think we talked about it before Spain happened. We were like, oh yeah, for the first week people will be all right, they'll look after each other. 2 weeks time they'll start to panic and buying stuff, and 3 weeks time that's when you might start seeing a bit of looting and stuff and fighting over the water in the shelves. It was hours, and they were fighting over bottled water and stuff like that.
Let me flip this to people, right? If you were to buy one Chinese meal a month for your family, maybe 45 quid, right? Because everyone's quite expensive. If you took that 45 quid for a year, you could have a moderately sized power bank like a Delta 2 and a solar panel.
Brian is not sponsored by EcoFlow. He's just tested them a lot.
I have, and I just think it's the best value one in the market for the performance now. And there'll be better ones further down the line, I've no doubt, but at the moment it represents the best value, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But electricity, like it or not, is the lifeblood of the modern world. We are all dependent on it. Yes, people will run out. The first time there's a problem with the grid, there'll be nutters running out of the woods like a dog with 2 cocks with their bug out bag on. I wish you good luck with that, sir. However, most of us will be trying to keep the kids occupied and the fridge freezer running.
Overloaded bug out bag with lots of tentacles, yeah?
Yeah, like a drunk octopus, as Andy would say. So even if it's for a short duration thing, which are becoming more often, is £45 a lot of money to spend to have the kids, your phone charged so you can talk to your relatives? Is £45 a lot of money to be able to watch your Sky Telly or have an electric blanket to keep everybody warm on a cold winter night? Because I don't think it is.
It's not. And prep into your means, guys. I don't have a Delta 2, right? It's just it's the way I have ambitions to have stuff like this, but I don't have a Delta 2. I don't have anything to that scale right now. But I have lots of power banks, lots of like fully charged power banks.
I was going to
Oh,
ask the
shit.
state of charge.
We're not buying that.
Even that, I could charge them off a small solar panel. They can power phones, they can power single devices. I've gone down the low tech route with prepping, but there is technology there. Like I've got little portable DVD players. In fact, literally the other day, I realized the only DVDs I had were kids' DVDs. So I went into a charity shop and thought, what am I going to need when SHTF happens to hit the fan? So I literally got nothing but a stack of stand-up comedy DVDs.
Bonnie Blue.
Which,
Who's Brianna Banks?
no,
Those
so I just
filthy backdoor nurses. What was that one, Mike?
no, but I literally got a lot of stand-up comedy DVDs because I've got these low power DVD players. You can fully charge them in next to no time at all, even via a power bank, and they'll last quite a while, at least a couple of movies sort of thing. And even low tech like that, it's going to be a lifesaver. So even if you can't afford what Brian's saying, which is a sensible investment if you've got it, you can still start. You can still do something, mitigate it. If you've got kids, it's not going to be worth the headache not being able to charge stuff.
Well, that's what my old man rang me for. He literally said, you know, what do I need to keep a few lights on, keep the TV going and stuff like that. And I said, just get yourself a Delta 2, the one that, you know, we talk about and recommend a lot. You know, that'll keep the lights on for what? A TV going probably 8-10 hours.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, you did a test, didn't you?
A Delta 2 runs a 75-inch telly, a lamp, skybox, router for 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
I mean, I don't know why you need the lamp on if the telly's on.
And if you turn the lamp off and turn the brightness down on the TV, it'll last 12.
Yeah, you could do a lot. I mean, if I know 40 odd quids might be a lot for some people now, but there's a little one. That's an Anker. It's a C300 AC version. That'll run an electric blanket. Yeah, I didn't mention the Shroom of Doom. Listen, it's not the size of the nail; it's the size of the hammer, right? For 20 quid a month, if you save it, you'll get one of these and a 110 watt solar panel, which will do a little bit of everything as well. So there is price points and options for you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Mayday said
the video, mate.
No. Mayday said, do you rate the Anker power banks the big ones?
Yes. 100% great power banks. The C1000 hits comparable in spec and performance to the Delta 2. It's a bit dearer. That's why I don't tend to go for that one. But it's an excellent power bank. It's got a light on it that the D2 doesn't have, and it's got better plug orientation as well. So in some ways it's better, in other ways it's just the same. But the reason for no going for that over the D2 is price, because they're more or less the same performance. Right.
So our timeline for any sort of collapse is financially for me. I'm looking at a year or two. I think Power Grid is a roll of the dice based on a CME could happen at any time. A bad winter storm could happen at any time. We know they can't predict the weather accurately, so there's no point trying to guess. But that's kind of a roll of the dice of when that could be. So that could be next week. It could be 10 years' time. And timelines for civil unrest we're not going to go into and stuff like that. I think we're already in it. How it escalates, or if it escalates, another story. It's another stream. The after effects is the highlight here. Oh, actually, no, prepping and periods to bug in. So with what you've got now, gents, I mean, Brian, you're quite comfortable on the power front. I'm probably not, but how long can you bug in for, but how long would you bug in for should something like this happen? As in not venture out, or would you be out helping neighbours and talking to people and stuff like that? Would you try and continue some sort of normality, or would it be doors locked? What?
If we're talking about a problem that's extended past 3 days, then you realistically need to start engaging with your friends and neighbours, because at some point they're going to notice the haves and the have-nots, and it's better to be magnanimous and help people while still holding most of your cards close to your chest. And ultimately, you've got to sleep, your family's got to sleep. So for exchanging a little bit of help, that could be charging their phone, charging whatever for them, or a couple of tins here or there in exchange for them chopping firewood for you. There's going to be an element of bartering. There's going to be that mutual support for security. I would suggest you would want to be doing that within 3 days. But as far as how long you would bug in for, they'd need to burn me out.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute, Brian. I remember when the CME was talked about on the scenarios, and when the family turned up at your door with a sick child, you turned them away.
He did. He did.
He did.
Listen, you shower of bastards.
I
He set fire to my shed the other day.
Yeah.
He set fire to my shed.
That tickled me. That. Do you know what I've got above my head in the garage? I've got two 6 kilogram powdered automatic fire extinguishers above my head. I've got those little melty wax thingies in them. So
don't worry. If you were joining in on that scenario, you were going to have a satellite dish land on top of your garage, Hawkins.
But for those that missed it on Sunday, we did a scenario, and Andy gets tigers and flamethrowers in his kit, and I lost all my preps. Things were not equal. I was shafted.
Do you know why? Right, let me just justify this. Is we've already said, anyone who's not seen us before, I don't know what you're even doing here after an hour and 26 minutes listening to our waffle. You must have seen us before. But if you've not, we always say all scenarios come back to this core of prepping, which is what you need to survive, right? Water, food, shelter, warmth, etc. It comes round to the same sort of things you're prepping. Not extreme cases like NBC suits and stuff like that. It's just this core of prepping.
Yeah.
The scenarios were starting to feel like that, so I had to reduce your core of prepping and force you into actions, Brian, to put people in that situation.
You burnt most of them. No, it was good because you don't know these things could happen. But I was like sitting going, what do you mean it's all gone?
Have you not bought an automatic fire extinguisher hanging from the ceiling now, Brian?
Not
yet. It doesn't need it. It leaks.
Thinking about it. Does it leak now? Fixed it. Fixed it months ago. In a fit of rage.
His fire extinguisher is the Scottish weather.
At least I know the power banks are waterproof after your tent.
Oh,
it's all about helping a friend. I tested that in a way you would have never tested it on your own. So it's it was a good thing I did.
Yeah, cheers for that.
Like testing the fireproofing on Hawkins's tent. You've got to test these things for people. Well,
I've not looked at my tent to see if there's holes in it yet, and I don't want to.
Probably should.
It was nowhere near. Honestly,
it was pretty near.
We're talking about the Scottish prepper meat for anyone that doesn't know, but never mind. Hawkins, bugging in yourself. If that happened the other day, the CME that you were praying happened, you sick puppy. Stop touching yourself because your camera's not on. Would you be booking in? Would you be going out speaking to neighbours? What would you kind of keep some sort of level of normality? What would be the plan for there? And if you were bugging in, is there a day? Because I'm not thinking of you guys specifically, because I know you both personally. I know what stuff you've got and stuff, so I'm not trying to give all that away. But if it's somebody new to this, they need a number. Oh, I need at least X amount of days. So would you be bugging in, and how long for?
So as I said previously, I could sit in the house for over a year, I reckon, quite easily. But power and
where have you stored that much Pepsi?
Yeah, that's I'd have to go cold turkey on Pepsi. I would get grumpy. I get grumpy, but I could do it. You'd have to make that assessment, wouldn't you? If I saw a X-28 solar flare coming towards the planet, I went, fuck's sake. So you'd fill up all the water and everything, blah 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 blah. Power grid goes down, but at 3 days, it's not coming up anytime soon. So you'd have to venture out. You'd have to check on the neighbours and stuff, because their bodies are going to smell after a while, aren't they? So you've got to look after them a little bit. Even if it's just giving them clean water and stuff. You've got to help them out because
he's doing shit with the corpses now. He's fucking shameless.
Well, no, but everyone's
All right,
you know what I mean? So you'd have to. I think I've mentioned it before. I've got a bit of a plan. I know quite a few people where I live now, and the missus knows even more. And I've got comms devices to hand out and things like that, and I'd set up a little bit of an aid station out front, and I'd provide clean water and things. And I think that's all just to build up that community watch, sort of neighborhood watch thing, and become a little bit of a, what would you call it? A community, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, would that be straight away, or would you give it some time for a bit of Darwinism to kick in first?
If I knew it was an X25 sort of thing where I knew the grid wasn't going to come up anytime soon, I'd just have to have a real good sit down with the missus and say, how much do you want to help people? It'd have to be a joint decision between me and her, how much we want to help neighbours, because that would take away from our ability to survive longer as a family of the three of us with the baby, the child. So
we're missing something. We've missed a step. We've missed a step. We're negating the fact that yourself and myself, unless something really bad had happened to the rest of the world, your Starlink would still work. So you would be in a very unique position that you'd be able to do show and tell and have a realistic idea more than anybody else of what's actually happening in the rest of the country and the world at large. So you would have a better picture of the ground truth than most people. So the first thing I'd be doing is telling people what's going on to get the bullshit away and try and get rid of the panic right at the start. You would know what's going on better than most, and you need to get that out there, good or bad.
I don't think it would stop the panic personally, but I put a link specifically for you in the chat, Brian. It is a link to Pepsi Max Soda Stream liquid. One bottle makes 9 litres of Pepsi Max. My brother has it. It works. I've tried it. And it's actually good, and it would store much better than cans. One bottle makes 9 litres of Pepsi.
It's going to taste better than Coca-Cola, isn't it?
So,
leopard sweat strained through a sock would taste better.
Drinking cherry cola the other night, cherry Pepsi Max, was it?
That's a cry for help, that is.
You don't want to know what I'm drinking tonight.
It's cherry Pepsi again, isn't it?
No, it's not. No, it's worse.
It's worse. Oh God,
it's worse.
It's cola.
It's what? Shall I show you?
Go for it. Seamus. What do you reckon, Hawkins? It's Tesco Pepsi or something, innit?
It's going to be bad. It's going
to be something nasty. Real cringe fest here. Wait till we see it.
Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is a sign of the times when we talk about cost of living. This is
Coca-Cola.
Freeway Professor Pop Zero.
He's
nowhere related to Dr. Pepper. He's Professor Pop.
Mate, I'd have been less ashamed of you if you told me that you'd been wanking off hobos for a £5. That's really bad.
A £5 could buy you 10 bottles of Professor Pop.
That's shocking.
I've never tasted Dr. Pepper. What does it taste like?
What I just hard to describe. Spicy Coke.
You keep your spicy Coke to yourself, Professor Pop.
You too can have Professor Pop's spicy Coke.
Is that his new nickname now? Professor Pop.
Professor Pop, that's that.
Just say everyone in the Discord refer to him as Professor Pop.
There'll be a video online soon as we get off this.
Lidl's finest.
I think we should hit him with a stick or something. I can't bear to look at him like this.
This is my way of FP grifting. Look how poor I am. I'm drinking out of a jug, and drinking Professor Pop.
When I need more money, I work overtime. When Mike needs more money, he drinks Professor Pop.
He's supping on spicy Coke.
I'll set up a Pepsi GoFundMe.
I'm going to hijack the link.
No, it's honestly, without joking aside, I mean, Hawkins has witnessed me drinking Pepsi. I've drank it. Brian's witnessed me drinking Pepsi at a meet. I was just holding the can. You didn't get me a picture drinking it. I was like that. But I had this at my brother's, and it's as good as, and it's 9 litres. One 6-pack is £22 with 6 bottles, which makes 45 litres of Pepsi. So it would store a lot better for people that have got an addiction, Brian. Just throwing that out there. I might just get some to barter with you.
Does it come with the caffeine in it?
Anytime I like.
You are?
Does it come with the caffeine in it as well?
I assume so. I'm pretty
caffeine,
sure. Does it have the ingredients on here? Contains a sort of contains caffeine, not recommended for children, pregnant, or breastfeeding women, or anyone that values their insides. That's what it says.
I'm all right with that. It's fine. Sounds good.
Sound.
You also get 7-Up and Lipton iced tea. There we go.
Nah, let's not ruin it.
So they do all the terrible flavors of Pepsi as well. You know, where they've tried to mask the horrible flavor with cherry and lime and stuff like that. So,
but did he do Professor Pop's spicy cock?
No, they don't. You don't need to. Why would you need to buy that on bulk when this is 50p a bottle, guys? At Lidl, Lidl's finest, sponsored by Lidl.
Brian, I don't know if that was your accent then, but did you say spicy Coke or spicy cock?
Yes.
Yes is the answer you're getting. All right, let's have a look at the chat. I'm dreading this, but let's have a look at the chat. Dr. Pepper recipe is a mixture of Coke and root beer. There you go. That's good. Yes, root beer. That's probably a close similarity. It's like root beer, but doesn't make you go. So yeah, you never tried root beer?
Nope.
What's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with you?
Lots of things are wrong with me, according to my wife.
Do you know how to make cola from scratch?
Nope.
No.
Go to the shop, pick up cola, walk out.
Funking hell, Mike. That's going to rot your stomach away. I'm waiting for the PayPal dings to start appearing now. Like, Mike, get some real Coke and stuff. There's a fine line between frugal and cheap. Listen, it does the job.
Keep the abuse coming.
It does the job, guys. It does the job. Listen, needs musts. At least I'm not drinking full price Coke and then coming on here crying poverty. I adjust, we prepped, we adapt, we improvise, we overcome. There we go.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. It's a cry for help.
To be honest, that's a treat this week. That is literally a treat this week. It's been council pop all week, so
that's the treat. Fuck me.
That's the treat. That's the treat.
Oh God.
We got this 4 times. They've started doing squash, or you call it diluting juice in Scotland. They've got this squash that's 4 times strength now. I don't know how it works. I can't work it. I struggled with double strength, how much to put in before you put the water in. Now with 4 times strength, every time I put it in, it tastes like I'm drinking sugar. It just doesn't work.
It's like Screech.
Yeah, it is. And I thought, right, I'll put a tiny drop in. Now it's like fucking water. Can't win. Does it have a totally tropical taste? They do. It's called tropical something, which is Lilt from Lidl as well. Dr. Pepper, I gave some to a friend to try. She looked at me and her eyes went massive like the cartoon Puss in Boots. That's because she was expecting Professor Pop, not Dr. Pepper. She wanted the good stuff. That's all.
Yep. Spicy Coke, make her eyes wide.
Pilgrim was like, spicy what? Oh, I love it. I like how we've degraded. This is what happens, right? We come on to talk about doom and gloom, and this is how it goes. So
well, this is doom and gloom if you're drinking that shite.
I'm in my own SHDF right now. I'll wash it down with some Cola X soon as well. That's the other one. What a bunch of armchair preppers. Oh, really?
Amateur.
Armature. Armchair or amateur? Amateur.
I can't even read it for you.
Yeah.
It's either spelling or a bit of a twist because we're both engineers, Brian. I don't know.
If it's an ama. Do we need to get the carbon brushes out here?
Essentially, mate.
I'll undercut it.
I could invite him to the bunker to see if I know I'm amateur or not, but I don't want to give the location away.
I'll get a comb stick out and we'll rub it on it.
Let's not start talking about rubbing our sticks. It's just shocking, all right?
It would make sense if you'd seen a motor stripped.
Straight over the head. Straight over the head. That's fine. But yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, Juice Vault. I look forward after this stream to looking at your channel and seeing exactly how we do it and how we're doing it all wrong. Thank you.
Or, not so politely, you could fuck off if you don't like it.
Oh, this is an episode of Bad Preppers now, isn't it?
I like this. Rector Pratt's amateur. Who gets paid to prep like? Everyone's an amateur. You're right there. You're correct. Thank you very much. Could have been worse. Could have got funky ice.
Just
Don't do it, Brian. Leave them. We need to conversate with them. They generate their own content.
Yeah, I'll just sort that right now. The button of ban for Monsieur Bellend. He can fuck off.
I don't do this. This is not me. I let you stay and troll all you want. It's fine. I think he was joking. I think he was joking, Seth Snapdragon.
Fair enough. Right. Fair enough.
Brian, you're a bloody legend. Right, we'll benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt, guys. Let's chill.
When you see the Discord names just rocking up in the chat.
In my defence, we had a bit of an issue on Discord today, so somebody had to go.
His tolerance bar for the day has disappeared.
Yeah. So if your comment was meant in good humour, great, I apologise. But we've had a trolley incident already today, and I was really polite, and then I lost my temper, and then banned him because he was a dick. So if you're joking, that's fine. Oh, he's supping on.
No, I just sniffed it.
I just said.
Were you sniffing a spicy cock?
I was sniffing Satan's toe. Wow. Oh, that's
like
gonna
it,
be
mate.
fun. No,
like it. Like it.
You haven't got the balls to put that shaft in your mouth on a stream.
Go on, do it. You could wash it down with some of that spicy cock.
Anyway, we digress yet again massively. Where were we at? After Effects. So that's the point, because Hawkins said 3 months, right? With this X50, 3 months, he thinks we're all going to be back singing and dancing.
That was kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah. Well, but saying that, if it is isolated, if it's our structure, it's not a world global event like an X50. It's just like we say, the crumblies and everything deteriorating, and it's our power. It's Storm that puts it out.
The nations would help us out, yeah.
That's the that's the question. Would we get foreign aid and rebuild, and what kind of timeline do you think we would see on that? Because lots of countries are in our situation where they've sent all their spares to war zones as well. So what's your thoughts on that? How long do you think that would take, if at all?
We're talking about 65 million people.
Ooh, behave.
That I'm not going there because
Brian,
that's really bad. That's really unfair because my wife watches this shit, and if I say something like I should, like my mind's telling me,
in the other room as well.
She'll kick fuck out me. That's really unfair.
Scratching.
God damn it!
OnlyFans coming up. Realistically, if there was a big, going back to your solar flare live stream that I missed the other night because I went to bed like a 5-year-old. If there was a big solar flare, Mike, and it was a proper one, for instance, it's not going back to normal in 3 months, is it? Because the death rate within the first 2 weeks would be immense. Because the biggest thing is, if you knock power off, you knock water off. If you knock water off, it's dysentery. There's no toilets flushing. There's no fresh water. So essentially, whoever's got the most water filters where you live becomes king. Forget power. Whoever's got the most water filters, whoever can provide clean drinking water is king. In my mind.
True. Yeah. It's a barterable commodity, but do you want to use up your filters on other people? But I mean...
Depends if they're willing to lick it, I suppose, for a glass of water.
Right. Jesus Christ.
Let's be optimistic armchair preppers, as we are, of course.
Right.
None of us ever go outside. Let's be
I prefer not
optimistic. We prefer you not to. Let's be optimistic and think somebody's coming to save us. It's not a flare that's took out all of Europe or anything like that. It's our own system that's collapsed. What's the rebuild time? How long would it take for us to do it ourselves? How long would it take with foreign aid? What would that look like? Would it just be food parcels and stuff like that? Are we talking FEMA camp situation? What's the after effects? What's going to happen after?
So say, for instance, it was a big CME, but it only affected the UK and Ireland, just the cusp of the UK. And it took out all our super transformers, like the 400 kV sort of stuff. They're like years to build.
Years.
They're made by
5 years.
ABB, they're made by Siemens, they're made by some knockoff Chinese companies. But so assuming the rest of the world is fine, and we just want to put a bulk order in to replace all of our big super transformers. Good God, it'd be fucking chaos. And yeah, it doesn't even with all the aid coming in, the only way you'd do it, I suppose, if you were to think about it, would be to bring in a bunch of US aircraft carriers off the coast and try and I'm sure they've probably got some sort of war game sort of scenario for this, of where they can use their nuclear reactors to feed into the grid to power. Yeah.
Wouldn't they work the switchgear smoked?
Yeah.
Your transmission switching capability's gone.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
What about old-fashioned redundancy of firing up the coal stations and stuff like that? Same issues?
They're gone. There's none left.
Transformers are gone. The problem is your transformers are gone. The coal power stations are gone as well, like Brian's saying. But your ability to switch transformers on and off, your ability to monitor loads, it's
You
so
can't
interconnected
balance
now.
Yeah.
SCADA systems and stuff. Yeah.
I'll paint a more dismal picture then, as
There's a
horrible
dismal
as it's going to
picture.
sound.
Mayday says the destruction has been planned for 100 years. They don't want to fix it. They want the population reduced to 15 million by 2050. Hunger Games is the plan. This is what I was saying before about the theories and stuff like that. And is it an agenda?
Sounds more fun than going to work, though, doesn't it?
£5 towards a new armchair. Thank you, Killer. Thank you.
If the scenario you're painting fundamentally boils down to an exercise in logistics, right, and it boils down to numbers, and the numbers don't make for good reading, you would have 65 million people that, depending on the season, would have extremes of heat and no water, or they would be really cold and no heat. So within a couple of weeks, sanitation's gone, so you're going to have dysentery outbreaks and cholera and all that other good stuff. Your health service is gone. All the nurses, doctors, police, fire brigade and soldiers have went home. You've got no means to talk to them or coordinate. The linesmen and the engineers who should be fixing the line and try to problem solve and communicate to see what's actually left, they're at home defending their families, trying to keep them warm and probably fighting for their life. Within about 3 months, 90% of the population is either starved or beating itself to death.
Yeah.
So even if they managed to sing Kumbaya around the campfire and heat marshmallows and everybody was living harmonious and managed to eke out the limited supplies and no farming and no distribution, even if they didn't, we're an island nation. Even in wartime with less a population, we struggle to feed them with functional farming and government. We are not feeding 65 million people. We are not giving water to 65 million people. Most people are going to die.
Yeah.
That's the harsh reality of a major power grid failure for an extended period of time. Most of the population will be dead. That's my opinion. I know that's a grim picture, but I think that's how we go.
Yeah, and you've got all the aspects of desperate people will do desperate things, and that where's social unrest. And I do believe you'll have places, like you say, all around Kumbaya and stuff like that. And if you're live in a small remote village, population circa 50 to 100 people, if you've got the nous and to be able to farm, to be able to block off your roads, to be able to defend that, there will be communities like that spring up, and that's the only way civilization will carry on in that aspect. But that small knit community, if you're where I am in the centre of Manchester, it's not going to work because there's not enough land, gardens, parks, stuff like that to grow enough food to feed the people. You know, you're talking long pig, you're talking cannibalism and all sorts of stuff, and a mass exodus from the cities, people going out to the country thinking they can survive with all their Temu gear that they bought last week, and something else will befall them. Brian's got Temu reviews coming up. Thank you, B, for the £7 super chat. Buy yourself a real drink, Mike. That would get me 14 bottles of Professor Pop.
So I don't like people, so I don't leave my house often.
You hate us so well.
So I went to Leeds for a medical. Oh God, you would have been talking 6 months ago now. I remember posting the Discord channel as I was there because I was like, Jesus Christ, this is what it'd be like to live in a city. And I was like, it was a total different game changer for me because I don't go into cities often at all. And as I drove in, I'm like, exit points, and I'm just parking a multi-story car park and going out, just going for a medical over work and blah blah blah. And I was just like, it's a fucking different ball game.
100%.
100%.
This is why my plan to bug in is a long-term plan that I've always had, but where I am now, it's not a realistic one. I gotta bug out. And that's what we've been working on recently. Like we've maximizing storage containers that can fit in the one vehicle we've got to take as much stuff as we can, prioritizing what we're taking, optimizing things like bug out bags and stuff like that. And my grab bag that I did the other video on the other day, I'm going to do 2 more videos coming soon, one on Mrs. Urban Prepper's grab bag and one on kids friendly grab bags as well. But that's what I'm doing at the moment, streamlining that, because where I am, there is several blocks of flats that are about 50 stories high, absolutely packed with people, overlooking my garden. If I grow anything food-wise, if I put any solar panel out, hundreds and hundreds of people can see it.
Yeah.
For most of the population is in these centres, if there was a large-scale grid-down situation, I mean, it's horrible to think about, but best case scenario, 3 months and 90%. There's different estimates, but between 70 and 90% of the population, they reckon, smoked. They're all gone.
Insane.
Horrible to think of.
Yeah, it is. It is. Crass Monster said we wouldn't even be able to survive in a medieval level. Modern homes have no means of burning anything to keep warm, to cook, to enough farmland to food, and wouldn't know how to cope anyway. Yeah, things like old Aga stoves and cottages with giant stone walls and wood heating and stuff will be gold. Absolute gold.
70% of the population were to die off. Odds are that Andy was one of them, isn't it? So he'd take his tigers with him. And I'm just giving him a bit of shit back because every time I listen to a stream, he has to dig at me. So I'm just
well,
that's only because you've not set up his mesh yet.
Question on your agoraphobia.
You'll give me his address, that's why. Yeah, go
on. How's that going to work on the 28th then if we allow you Zone 5 wankers to come up to Scotland for a beer?
Yeah, but it's all right because you're all weirdos like me, so it's all right. It's
that's an element of that. I'll give you that.
It's just normal people I don't like. The shit drivers, they think too slow.
People.
Like, yeah, yeah.
Anyone's with major health conditions gone? Yep. Medication, fridge medication.
Somebody made me feel really bad the other day in the Space Weather channel for that. Because I was posting saying I was looking forward to a 2-week grid down event, and they said something like the kid was going for a heart operation, and I was like, "Yay, grid down!" And I felt really bad.
Good. Good. So
You're a
you
terrible
should. so you should. We hope for the best. We prepare for the worst. We hope for the best. And I know I get right. So Hawkins' school of thinking is not just for his own sick entertainment purposes. It will shock a lot of people into preparing well, and it is a viable thing.
This will probably, I don't know, maybe piss people off or maybe make them surprised or shocked. But there's an element of gallows humour here, right?
Yeah.
Most people at prep, not most, some people at prep, to an extent, it's like training for a football game and never getting to kick the ball, right? You're kind of in a sick sort of way hoping for a small issue that you can test in the real world, that all the shit that you've spent all this money and time on actually works. And I know that sounds really, really, really fucking weird, and it probably is, but I kind of understand where he's coming from, that maybe a day or two, yeah, I mean, I would be all right with it.
Listen, every prepper should take the plunge and do it anyway. You've done it, Brian. You've shut the power down. You've ran off the Delta 2s. You've tested it. Yeah, you cycle stuff like water regular. We're going. Me, Brian, Alan, and possibly Andy are going camping on a remote island in the middle of winter in Scotland. We are testing this stuff. You what?
I'll come.
You're coming. All right.
Oh, nice one.
We'll talk
13th.
after we'll talk after we end if you want, rather than giving people locations. We don't want a crowd, you know.
We're going to Air Beach.
We're doing that, and the point is, the best time to test your preps to learn these things is while you've got redundancy. Yeah, because there's nothing worse than that adrenaline feeling of I'm in the here. Like when I did my like long distance hikes, there was places with no signal on radio, phone, or anything, low on water, and no cars driving past for hours upon end. And I'm walking along thinking I'm literally on my own in this situation, and it's a different feeling. It is genuinely a different feeling when you're in that kind of dangerous situation. So test everything now. Don't buy anything and put it in a drawer. I'd literally got them radios the other day, sent so generously. Kane bought them off my Amazon wish list, which I like to rub in because Brian's disgruntled with it. But so generously sent to me off my Amazon wish list as an early Christmas present from Kane. And the first thing we've done is Mrs. Urban Prepper's been in here while I've been driving out because I'm in a city. I don't know how much the range is going to be affected. And luckily, it's quite effective within my certain areas.
I'd love to know what frequency you're using and what power level you're using for your license, for your amateur radio license. That's all I'm saying.
They'll be PMR.
Right. They are.
No, they're not.
They are.
No, they're not.
If MDF Ofcom's watching, they're PMR.
That is PMR, yeah. I'll give you that.
They are.
And funnily enough, when I got onto Channel 7 near me, I had all the train station staff from the local train station.
Yeah, very professional. Well done.
Look what that guy's drinking.
Talking about somebody's travel passes, something like that. Yeah, but yeah, it's so I was doing research, like driving around the area, testing different channels, seeing what activity was on there, which ones are probably more likely to be safer to transmit on, and seeing what range we could get a clear conversation going.
Have you remembered to charge them back up again?
Yes. They have docks right next to me here. And they're also, the new ones are not just docks, they've got the USB-C as well, which is cool.
If I was willing to turn my camera on, I'd show you the same thing. But I bought those batteries. Yeah, I bought those batteries to upgrade all mine to USB-C charging. So they're cool. And I want to get a couple of the batteries extra as well, like as spares. So that's really cool.
He's fucking shameless. He's already gouged them for the radios. Now he wants the batteries.
not Kane. But no, listen, the point of this, before you all start trying to get me on the wrong side of the law and everything else you're trying to do, the point is you get something, you test it. All right.
Yes.
Granted, if you buy a tent tomorrow and we've got this storm rolling in right now, this huge rainstorm that's coming over, maybe don't test it straight away. You know, give yourself a fighting chance, but test the stuff.
Wait, the prepper meet then test it.
Yeah, like I do.
Signed it leaks.
It was sideways, to be fair.
What tent have you brought this time, Mike? I don't know. I bought it in an auction. I've never had it out the packet. Let's see.
The Splashmaster 400. With
The best
water
thing about
feature.
the best thing about that prep meet was
my head.
3 different people came up to me, said they'd brought a spare tent because just in case I needed it. I thought, you guys have no faith.
I turned up
You
at
know.
the same time as Mike, and I was pitching my tent underneath a gazebo just so the inner stayed nice and dry. And I only moved it outside of the gazebo once I put the outer tent on it.
But that's because you're a fair weather prepper. You know, you've got this North Face fancy tent that's probably seen the light of day 3 times. You go
It's not
hiking with
flameproof.
friends that take up cappuccino machines up mountains, stuff like that. Air fryers, wasn't it?
Cappuccino, actually.
But you know, I'm used to roughing it. I'll sleep in a bivvy bag. I'll sleep with no shelter. I'll sleep in just the woods. It's fine.
To be fair, that's not how you start out the adventures. Generally, you've got kit. It just either catches fire, floods, or cuts. That's just how it ends up.
I could happily only post my wins on my channel and look awesome, or I could just stand there and chat to you with loads of AI clips going over the top.
You don't
And
have
it'd
one
be
video
fine.
a year.
When are you doing the wins?
But I don't need this. I don't need this shit. This isn't an episode of Bad Preppers. Go away. Yeah, but it's true. You're better off posting your fails. Just be honest, and people learn that way, right? I like the cheap tent I got for this cycle was Decathlon, and I went there initially going to get the big square 2-man one, but I lifted it, felt the weight, and thought this smaller one would be better. It's 1 man, but it fit me and a bag down the side. That's been spot on. So easy to pitch, so quick to pitch, waterproof. It's had the wind. It's travelled all that distance. That's the wins when stuff works.
I'm bringing up Uncle Guanxi.
I've got an Alp Kit Kagri that I bought many moons ago. And I'm the weirdo who would hike up into the Lake District and pitch their tent at the top of a mountain in a weather warning, like a red weather warning. And I'm, according to Alp Kit, I'm the only person to ever break the poles because they had to replace them. And they were like, no one's ever broke them before. These are the same poles they use in like Everest base camp tents. And I was like, yeah, they're broke. Thanks, just replace them.
But to be fair, you weren't supposed to put them up there in the first place. That's not what they're for. I have experience in shit situations, real time. There's a mental cost. Be careful what you wish for, my friend. This is it. This is the thing 100%. I'm trying to emphasize when you're in that dangerous situation. Yeah, when you're in that dangerous situation, that kind of thing. Anyone that's been in any sort of situation like that, even if it's fights, car crashes, anything like that, there's a lot going on. And yeah, but this is the point of testing it in peace times, because if you've got to learn this stuff and you've got that mental struggle going on at the same time, it's going to be a nightmare, if not impossible. You want to have cooked on that camping stove so many times, you could do it without even thinking. It's second nature. You want to have been able to, Brian wants to be able to know exactly where to position his power banks and what to plug in and how long to charge them for without having that to be a mental task or refer to a notebook, because you've tested it that many times, which frees up the mind to, struggle with the other struggles that we would see. At Brian, the beach would be a good location to try a live off the shore on the sea for a weekend. Could make an interesting video. Yeah. Well, we'll attempt a live to where we're going.
We'll get to that. There's an element of that in it, but not Air Beach. That's full of boy racers and junkies.
Yeah. I could go and do a live at Blackpool, but all the equipment will be stolen in 10 minutes. Mike, you would have nothing to post. Thank you, Gatwick. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Gatwick, same thinking as me.
There you go. Balkans War was an SHTF situation. Have a look at how many civilians died from famine, dysentery, or other issues, attribution to displacement. It's a hell of a lot lower than you'd think. There you go. I mean, it was still peace times with the conflict going on, though, right? That's the difference.
Slight difference. The Balkans were on a large landmass where they could distribute across Europe. We're an island nation with limited access and egress off the island in time of strife. So, that would have its own problems.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, if something like this happens, the government's got the shit together by that point, and aid is on the way, and we're already and somebody is
You're
coming
good.
to save us.
You're funny.
Can I just
You're
can I just
good.
say something though? RP's putting some right effort into building up his zone. If you watch his zone where he's working, he's putting some right effort into trying to network.
No, yeah, no, he's
So
good. I
like
need
this
to
sort-
win. I'm
yeah.
going to sort out a chat with him about something as well soon as well. So we're getting all the zones and everything on target, and it's a sign of the times that we've gone from a great social media platform of our Discord server, which is awesome, and so active compared to every other Discord I've ever been a part of, to practical plans in place, communication plans, zones coming up with their own, splitting up the areas and meeting points and stuff like that. And that's a sign of the times. People are actually thinking and worrying about this stuff. All preppers should spend as much time on the mental prep and dealing with people as they can. It's more important than gear. 100%. 100%.
Agree.
And this is not to say sit there meditating and think kumbaya will save it all. And if you're religious, that's absolutely fair enough. But God gives us our minds so we can look after ourselves, right? The old fable of sending the boat out to rescue the man that's drowning, and he says, "No, it's okay. God will save me."
God will
He's
save
the
me.
one that sent the boats. So there's fables like that. So we prepare for that reason. But yeah, the mental side of things, you can only do so much. But drills are going to help when it comes to the mental side of things, because you're not going to be having to think about something else. So,
JP,
I still think people will follow. Oh, nice one. Hi, JP.
JP, young sir.
democratically elected spokesperson.
I wasn't democratically.
The tech genius from the prepper meet to keep us all live. In
Genius
SHTF
for Mike means they could just word the internet.
I'm a developer and a coder. How could you call me any sort of tech dinosaur?
That's the worrying thing
in my head.
In SHTF, the EU countries, especially France, will actually close their borders and the tunnel in that situation and stop allowing goods to come into the UK. They would screw us for sure. It's a point of view, and I hope you're wrong, but yeah, very well could be right.
But I think
Wait,
we've not doing a rock concert.
Borders so far, have we?
You what?
We've not managed to close our borders to France so far, have we?
No.
What borders?
Exactly. So how can they close their borders to us?
I've sussed it. I know now when we'll realise that the country's on its knees and it's going to fall. See, when the fucking boats cross the channel and they turn and go back the way, that'll be the sign. That will be the sign right there.
Tactical prepper mindset. Love this. He says, people are the greatest danger when the wheels come off. We all need to learn more about people and how they react. Learn about people and learn about yourself. Although it's fiction, anyone who's not read it, read 1 second after. All right. Changed my mindset on prepping. Not that I'm now some selfish lone wolf prepper, but my original plan, I've got barrels upon barrels of rice and pasta, and I would be doing mass meals for the community and stuff like that, which is like lovely if it works. But I've got more cautious and and thought a bit more about stuff like that. But it's a good fictional book that makes you really think about prepping. Changed the way I did a lot of things, and it touches on the aspect that tactical prepper mindset is talking about there.
The problem with people is the propensity to panic, and because we don't like the unknown, we like routine. We like to know how things are going to be. The lights will work, will be nice and warm, the kids will go to school, you go to work, come home, put your dinner on. We like routine. When the routine is broken and we don't know when it's going to be re-established, there's a propensity to panic and freak out. In your community, if you've got any sort of skills and you're in any way, shape or form prepared, then at some point you're going to need to be a focal point to try and arrest the panic, to try and stop the tendency to panic and give them a bit of guidance, because people will follow an idea. If you don't give them a good idea to follow or an idea, they'll follow the bad one. And the bad one, the default position, is to panic and to freak out and do stupid shit. So part of what we do should be aware of that, in my humble opinion.
So what you're saying is you need a yellow vest and a megaphone.
Always
You
have high
beatboxing.
vis vests.
We're all fucked. We're all fucked. He's beatboxing.
Paul Callaghan Fowler says, has anyone tried walking the tunnel the other way? It might be good for a laugh.
Soon,
Can you-
Paul, soon.
Brian Keane, question. Do you guys think in SHTF there would be cooperation between Ireland and England? Yeah, our biggest trading partner after all. Another very difficult situation there with there's a relationship there that might trigger something for them to use it as an opportunity. Is all I can.
I think it would depend on the level of command and control that's left to actually do anything with the resources. If the government of the day has got no ability to control the populace or control and distribute its goods or even try and get more from other countries, and that works both ways, they'll be in a piss poor position to help anybody because they can't help themselves.
Yeah. I'd like to think so. There'd be cooperation and stuff like that. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? That Walker of the World couldn't walk it. I don't think. What walk the tunnel? Are we talking about walking through the Channel Tunnel here? Is that what we're talking about? Is that the
I'm
next
lost.
charity thing for 2027? Englishman in Channel Tunnel, all trains suspended, firearms teams deployed. Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you cynical people.
I'm ex-special ops detective, spent years spying and listening, watching criminals behind closed doors. Most people have no idea how the criminal mind works. Conflict management is essential. Yeah, definitely. Most people's ideas of stuff like this will come from Hollywood and movies and things like that, and the grim reality will be much more gritty. Amen. We're all getting the shaft slowly. Giggity. When people panic, the amygdala takes over.
Your brain.
Amygdala.
Panic brain.
Yeah,
Aye.
amygdala. Sorry, I was a totally dyslexic moment. For many fighting, everyone will be their natural response. Fight or flight, right? It's it's fight or flight, definitely. And I think anyone like me, like us, with kids, with family, that's the flight is not an option a lot of the time. So,
yeah, my Olympic sprinter days are over.
Your gangrene foot.
Yeah,
it's not gangrenous, it's just a bit fucked.
Bar foreign aid and rebuild, which we kind of touched on. The only other thing was conspiracy theories. I was hoping people would throw them in to the chat, but we've not had all that many. The International Monetary Fund is one that I've heard that this is all their agenda to try and, collapse us, sort of thing. So we end up on a centralized digital currency. Anyone put stock in any of these?
I've got one for you, Mike.
Go on.
That's scary.
I'm a bit of a
give it to me, Hawkins. Give it to me.
Sexy. A bit of a CME sort of.
Fuckers.
Calm down, Brian. The love's coming to you.
I've got to share a tent in a remote, close proximity to these people.
You can wear armor. Anyway, so I'm a bit of a CME person who thinks
down the arse cheeks.
Jesus Christ. My personal feel is that there's, and people who know, like John C, I think subscribes to a bit of suspicious observers type stuff, and we feel as if there's a solar endgame coming in the next 20 years, 15 years, sort of thing.
As in a giant flare like the 2003 one, but facing us.
Like a bigger solar micronova sort of thing. You'll have heard me talk about from time to time, and it fits with the world. It fits with the agenda. It fits with the fact that nobody gives a fuck how much debt the world is going into or what sort of course that the world is going on, because there's a
because they're never going to pay it.
Yeah, exactly. it's almost as if every government knows within 15 years nothing fucking matters because there's a solar micronova coming. The sun is going to spit out its massive dummy that's going to make the Carrington event look like this weekend, basically, like this week, basically, and it's going to be so much worse. And it doesn't matter. So who gives a flying fuck? That's
Does this fall into the theory of why our tech billionaires in the last 5 years have started investing in super bunkers and islands and things like that?
100%. But so, yeah, that I don't know. That I just it can't leave my brain. It can't. It's my brain's a weird place, as Brian will tell you. But yeah, it's I can't get over the fact that I feel like there's a big solar micronova coming.
How could they predict that so far? I get the idea of it, but the sun's so unpredictable when it comes to stuff like solar flares. We don't know until it happens, kind of thing. So
they tell us though. But don't forget.
I agree with that, but I also, if you look at the deterioration of the magnetosphere, as you call it, with the polar shift going on and how weak it's become, and the fact that we can now see the aurora at such low altitudes compared to previous, you just watch this space. I'll have the last laugh.
Well, the problem, the hole in the hole in the weakening of the magnetic field is accelerating year on year. That we do know. That's a stick on certainty. Now, we require that to protect us from solar events. If our protection's waning, even a moderate to mediocre event would potentially cause more harm than it would have done if that shield was intact.
With the right polarization of the storm hitting the planet,
straight through it.
The last 2 days could have ended up very, very differently if the polarization had been the right way when it hit the planet, and we could have been sat in there going, "Fucking candles, fuck's sake!" But you know what I mean? It is what it is.
This live stream would have just been me sat here talking to a blank screen because I've lost my mind.
Who says you're not talking to a blank screen, mate? Is this real? Is this a figment of imagination?
If the voices in my head are your voice and Brian's, then I've got real issues.
We've said it for a long time.
The problem is we don't control the sources of information. So they basically, all governments and big business controls the high ground. So they bombard you, your children, everybody else with the narrative of the day 24/7, every day. So they control the information. So even the solar weather that we're basing our opinion on, they control all the sources. So we're saying we would find out or we would know stuff. We know what we're allowed to know, and we make up the rest in our brain and what we think we know. If they knew there was a disaster coming, I don't think they would tell us, is my gut instinct.
No, the only time we would know is when the first amateur astronomer knew, or something like that, or maybe this meteorite is an alien vessel and they've already made contact and said, "Get your shit in order because we're going to enslave you next month."
Probably pay better and less tax.
Yeah. Paul said, "I heard a DARPA scientist saying something similar." There you go. Yep, the 2030 is the real issue. Whatever you think, World Economic Fund and Davos are issue is real, 100%. So the solar would wipe the solar out, asks,
yes.
Preparing the path.
Possibly.
Potentially.
Possibly. Yeah. Your solar panels on your house would be a source of attenuation with MC4 cables into your inverter. That would almost certainly get smoked. If there was enough energy, it'd pop the diodes in the panels. But your portable solar panels, your portable power banks, in your shed, in your garden, or cupboard, whatever it is, if they're not plugged in and there's no solar panels plugged into them, they'll be fine.
But you know the solar panels, Brian, are rated for a direct short, so you can ground them to earth. So if you had a 5 kilowatt array on your roof, you could ground that to earth in advance and just leave it grounded to earth, and that could take the full current level that the solar panel could generate.
Yeah, if it doesn't jump though and just skip. I was talking to JP about this the other night. We were talking about fault protection and things, and the induced voltages in the cable and how likely it would be to jump fault protection and jump off switches and things. There's so much conjecture on it that we just don't know. We're kind of guessing on a lot of it.
I would ground mine.
You don't need to, Hawkins. You've got your metal box with the blinking lights that's going to save everything.
I do have no, it's plastic actually. It's not metal. Plastic box with blinking lights.
Oh, excellent. Even more protection.
Have you opened that up yet?
No, it's potted.
Oh, fuck. Get a saw out.
If you knew how much that cost me to import that I never fucking knew when I bought it, not a fucking chance.
There's a guy, it's the same guy that sells pensions to people, right? He's running about in a fucking jet ski, right? He's selling all this shit, and it's made by Temu. And one production line, they're making slippers that are all size 4.
We're talking about the EMP protection boxes for anyone that doesn't know. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. He's running it. The guy who owns the factory makes flip-flops and these fucking things, and he's running about in a jet ski. He's got 6 hookers on call 24/7, and he's laughing his nuts off.
But Hawkins is protected.
You'll be lucky if it's a blob of plastic filled with resin with an LED on it.
So I wanted a Siemens FS140, right? Which, if you read the data sheet, sound great. Just a lovely surge protector for a standard sort of whole house surge protection device. Problem with the Siemens FS140 and all the other made by Square D, made by ABB and things like that is they're all made for a market which is marketed for lightning strikes, which is basically America. Problem with America is they use shit voltages because they're the wrong side of the fucking planet and they made everything wrong, right? So if you want to get something for the UK market, you've got to get something on European voltage and 50 hertz. The only thing I could find that would sell anything, forget EMP, right? Forget EMP. Just take that out of it. Just call it a surge protector, whole house surge protector. The only company that will make a whole house surge protector I can find that is the same sort of grade as a Siemens FS140, a Square D, an ABB, anything like that, is EMP Shield, because they just decided to make it for the European market, and that's why I bought it. So it wasn't bought explicitly for an EMP Shield. It was bought because it matches the specifications of a Siemens FS140, but it's done for the same voltage and frequency that will work on our grid.
I could write on the outside of my boxer shorts built to contain a 12-inch dick. It doesn't mean it's true, right? That's the harsh reality here. Now, the reason I'm so cynical, do you ever mind the guy, he done time for it as far as I know. He was selling all the mine detection equipment to the government was buying and sending to troops in Afghan, and it was basically a blob with a light on it. It didn't detect anything. There was folk getting zapped right, left and centre. He was selling these things. Nobody fucking tested it, and they just shipped it out. So I hope I'm wrong. Genuinely hope I'm wrong and it works.
I don't care anyway, because if you look at the amount of surge protection that's on my house, it's the cheapest aspect of the surge protection. If you look at the fact that I've got an SPD on a transient filter on every single radial circuit of the house, which is probably about 15 circuits up top, I can see from there. So the EMP Shield is actually the cheapest aspect of it.
Yeah,
I've seen your distribution board, and the little guy that comes to read the meter must be crying.
Mate, the guys who installed the solar at my house turned around to me and said, "I haven't got a clue what's going on here. Can you help me out, please?" Proudest moment of my life.
Hawkins, Brian from the chat, Brian Keane said, "How does that look, or what will happen with relation to the solar thing that you're on about?"
The Micronova.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fucking rabbit hole to go down. Go to Google and type suspicious observers, typed with a 0 instead of an O, and you'll get linked to Space Weather News on YouTube, and then just go to videos, hit popular, and then just go back through that, and you'll see. Or if you're in the Discord, I'll link to it.
There you go.
But it's,
if you're not in the Discord, get on the Discord, and then he'll link you to it.
yeah,
If you put suspicious observers York, you'll see a picture of him looking in the neighbour's windows.
I can't remember which conspiracy theory I was reading years ago when I typed a reminder into my phone of world would collapse on 23rd of July 2029. Interesting.
Seems to be a lot of people thinking 2030, 2029. Why is that?
Yeah. It's just a round number, right? It's like the millennium. It was all going to happen at the millennium. The millennium bug was going to take us all out and stuff like that. When was Terminator? That was like, isn't it 1999? They said the world was going to end in Terminator 2, I think it was. Anyway, 1998. That rings a bell. I've decided getting on the mothership, says Rift, with Elvis through the portals. I've just heard what sounded like an air raid siren. It stopped 5 minutes ago, likely a cliff blast. Where do you live? If you live near any petrochemical plants, anything like that, chemical factories, stuff like that, they all have them sirens on as well. So tune into local radio. Tune into local radio as soon as you hear anything like that, if you're not sure what it is.
Dick.
The end of the world when Anthony Deck don't win 5 television awards the night. That's the only blessing of that's the blessing of the end of the world is Anton Deck will also suffer.
Good. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Does anyone monitor the 1.6 gigahertz signal for the interdimensional UFO local appearance into the dimensional reality? Andy, there we go.
No, but it sounds interesting.
It sounds fun. Essader meets Raffle Ear tonight. Essader meets Raffled here tonight. Is somebody getting coded messages off or something? That's a coded message I've just read out loud. All of our doors are about to be kicked in by Special Branch.
Either that or he's typing for help when he's having a stroke.
Yeah.
There's somebody dying at the end of the keyboard here and we're laughing at him.
The sad thing for Special Branch is they kick the doors in and go, fucking hell, you lot are special. And then they walk away.
Oh, there you go. Brian's Irish Crypto on Discord. So he's the one that asked about it, Hawkins. So if you can link him.
Roger.
Awesome. Right. I think we're going to have to end it because Brian's probably filled up his Pepsi cans with pee by this point.
Well, I've ran out. I only brought 5.
Shocking. I know. I'm halfway through the Professor Pop, only 50 pence at Lidl.
The spicy cock.
Spicy cock.
I brought 10 pints of Stella on can number 8.
That's it. We best go. We best go before Hawkins turns his camera on by accident and reveals he's undressed.
Again,
you sound intelligent, Mike. Tell a boy's been here too long if he thinks that. It's delusion. It's delusion.
Sounds like he said 8 pints.
Yeah.
The Georgia Stones that got blown up, our future. Look at it. There we go.
Yeah, that one. That was a weird one. That was.
I don't know what it is.
It's in America in the old US of A. Like almost a bit like a Stonehenge type thing, where the like tablet inscriptions on a stone, and they were literally blown up, and you never heard anything else about it. Like no one got blamed for it. It was just they were blown up. Okay, yeah, sounds America. That's what we do.
Interesting.
Weird.
Somebody was just playing with their new bazooka. Right, wait, loads of stuff coming in now. I asked for conspiracy theories at the start. I'm sorry, guys, you're too late. We'll do a conspiracy night and drag Andy along for the UFO side of things.
Not that nutter.
Yeah, that nutter, yes. Thank you to my guests tonight, Brian, Scottish Prepper 73, and Hawkins, the elusive man himself. Thank you guys for joining in tonight. Thank you to everybody in the chat, all my moderators, Miss Worm, Rift Security, Telda Boy, Evil Girl, all of you. Thank you. Much appreciated, everyone. All my links are below on all my videos. Don't forget to check out Brian's channel as well, Scottish Prepper 73, and we'll see you for another random chat at a random point in time if we're all here tomorrow. No doom and gloom, honest.
Bye.
See you later.
Cheers, guys. Take care.